broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
John's Honda, your hometown dealer for sales and service of Honda motorcycles, ATVs, Honda generators, and Honda lawnmowers. Family owned and operated since 1967, John's Honda offers factory-certified technicians and experienced sales staff.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
On the premiere of Dickensian,
state your purpose.
Murder, Mr. Scrooge.
As Inspector Bucket investigates a Christmas Eve killing.
His name is Jacob Marley.
Arthur Havisham is bitter about his sister's inheritance.
His dying wish was to disown me.
And Honoria is confronted by her sister.
I saw you like mongrels in the street.
The acclaimed Charles Dickens mashup, Dickensian.
They're expecting 1 to 3 inches tomorrow. Welcome to War Memorial Stadium. It's the nightcap of championship Saturday. We have a 2A battle between two undefeated teams, the Fordyce Redbugs and the Des Arc Eagles. Hello, everybody. I'm Wes Moore. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be a lot of fun. If you like old school football, guys going both ways, you're going to love tonight's game. Bobby, I got to start with Luke Morton. A heck of a story for Des Arc. He's their quarterback. He's their second leading tackler, but he's got a significant injury that he's dealing with. Yeah, you're talking about a quarterback. You think of somebody who's going to throw it all over the yard. Well, that's not going to happen tonight for Des Arc, but a dislocated elbow late in the season. Pretty impressive to see what he's been able to do, not only leading his team, leading an option attack, and leading this Eagle offense.
Yes, this is a true option offense. They've only thrown 24 passes all season. Luke Morton has thrown 21 of them. But let me say this. I was watching them warm up, and Luke Morton could throw the ball. He had some nice passes of luck. There wasn't a defense out there, but he could throw the ball around. But it is his left elbow, so he'll be able to throw it if he has to. But Luke Morton's been getting it done all year for them. You see his stats, 210 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. 858 yards rushing and 25 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and you mentioned the defensive numbers, 75 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a couple pass breakups, a couple interceptions. But I think the prime term to talk about Des Arc is just because they don't throw it doesn't mean they can't throw it. And we saw that last week with Lake Hamilton, so maybe they come out tonight and shock us.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you run it, and everybody's expecting you to run it again. You throw it over the top to a wide open wide receiver. So don't count out the possibility of Des Arc throwing the ball tonight. Now, on the other side of the field, we know Fordyce is going to throw it a little bit. They're more of a pro-style offense. They'll run it, but they'll throw it too. And they have a primetime player that you'll want to keep an eye on tonight.
Yeah, Jaquiz Cross is electric. He's going to play at Purdue, 872 yards rushing, 751 yards receiving, 29 total touchdowns, has well over 15 Division I offers, but he wanted to go to the place where he can play offense, and that's why he chose the Boilermakers. Number 2 is going to be the focal point for Fordyce tonight.
So there you go. Keep an eye on number 2 for Fordyce, number 3 for Des Arc. And there's a lot of other guys on Des Arc that you have to keep an eye on because they have in that option offense, they have a bunch of running backs that have been racking up the yards this season.
Yeah, they've got 5 guys with well over 600 yards rushing. It's going to be a pick your poison. Whoever's not working, they'll just turn to the next guy. This game is going to go really, really quickly, so don't go anywhere tonight.
Ian Holloway, 934 yards rushing. We told you about Luke Morton, 858 yards rushing.
rushing. Travion Reed, 994 yards rushing. Jack Kirby, 898 yards rushing. For Des Arc to win tonight, they may need to get those 4 guys over 1,000 yards rushing for the season. And what an accomplishment that would be.
It could be really interesting. And you've got Brock DeVore, who's also got 500 yards rushing. So it's just one guy after another for Des Arc's offense who can just really tote the rock. And I imagine we're going to see all 5 of them tonight.
There you see the defending champs, the Fordyce Redbugs, ready to enter the field at War Memorial Stadium. We'll get you set for kickoff. Head down to the sideline to check in with our third member when we come back. This is the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
Just minutes away from the start of the 2A state championship game as the Fordyce Redbugs run out onto the field, the defending champions, ready to add another title. Let's head down to the field and check in with the third member of our crew, Troy Lynch.
Hey guys, I tell you what, I was not prepared for tonight for many reasons, mainly due to the fact that this weather is freezing and I'm only wearing one layer. But I tell you what, who is prepared tonight are the Des Arc Eagles. I was talking to head coach BJ Paschal a little bit before this game, and I was like, hey, how do you match up with Fordyce? And he says, I don't know. Well, you take a look at them. They got more numbers, they got more size, and they got a little more speed. However, these Eagles, he said, are tough. And I asked him, well, how are you going to be able to compete with them? He said, you need to be able to control the ball and control the time of possession, and hopefully they can come away with the state championship, which they haven't done since 1976, guys.
Thank you, Troy. Stay warm. You know, do some sprints up and down the sideline. You got plenty of space down there. I want to talk about these two defenses. Des Arc held Mount Ida to 22 points, Bigelow to 22 points, and last week they held Junction City to 20 points. And you look over at Fordyce, 6 points allowed against Clarendon, 8 points against Foreman, and last week against Girton, who many had ranked as the #2 team in the state, they gave up 24 points.
Yeah, one guy to pay attention to for Des Arc's Jack Kirby. He leads the team, 89 stops, 51 on the assist, but 5 sacks, got a couple fumble recoveries. He's going to be the main guy for that defense, number 33 on the defensive unit for Des Arc.
Des Arc on the season, they've given up 13 points per game. That sounds pretty good, right? Well, then you flip sides to Fordyce. They've given up 11 points per game, and at one point this season, they had the #1 scoring defense in the state.
That's why they're here. That's why they're defending state champs. That's why they've won 19 games in a row. They go out and they get things done on both sides of the football. And you look at Fordyce's entire season, they've got some quality wins. You go all the way back to the non-conference play. They beat Risen. They beat Gird in the semifinals, who a lot of people thought that was the second best team in Class 2A. Des Arc, though, on the other hand, not a lot of respect. Even though they're coming to tonight's game with a perfect undefeated record, not many people give them a chance to win tonight. But, you know, when that flex bone, that power running game hits you right in the mouth, things tend to change under the lights.
They got a lot of respect last week after knocking off Junction City. I imagine if you took a poll among a lot of people who cover high school football in the state, they would have guessed Junction City would have won that game. But Des Arc gets it done at their home stadium, and I know their fans were excited. That's a great place to watch a high school football game, looking down below us, and many of their fans have made the trip to War Memorial Stadium. The camouflage is out from the Des Arc fans. A lot of them come from the Hunting Woods and go straight to those games at Des Arc, and then go back to the Hunting Woods that night when the game's over. But tonight, they're all bundled up in their camouflage. One of the key players for Fordyce, and we talked about him already on offense, but Jaquez Cross, he leads the state in interceptions.
8 interceptions this year, and the radio crew had 10 last year. So 18 interceptions, and I mentioned he wanted to go play offense in college. Now you understand why so many schools want him to come play defense. 18 interceptions, and that's with teams trying to throw away from him. He still finds a way to go get the football.
Another player to watch for Fordyce is their quarterback, Jaheim Brown. He's thrown for almost 1,900 yards, 26 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on the season, and he's not afraid to run the ball either. He's got almost 350 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a guy that puts you in a good spot. 67% completion percentage, 26 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. He's ready to get the Redbugs going. And West, to kind of say how jazzed these two teams are to get here, they lined up for the kickoff almost 5 minutes early before the scheduled kickoff, and now we're finally have to line this one up and kick it off. But you can tell Des Arc and Fordyce are ready to go.
You know, we were still talking during our pregame show, giving players to watch, and I look, they're on the field ready to kick off. I'm like, wait a second, guys, we got stuff to talk about. And the officials waved both teams off back to the sideline. Said, look, we still got a couple minutes to go. Y'all go over your final plans. But now we are ready to go, ready and set for the kickoff. You see Trayshawn Allen there for Fordyce. Good field goal kicker for them. He's made 57 extra points this season, 1 of 1 on his field goals. That was 26 yards. Now, Des Arc doesn't kick a lot of extra points. They're going to go for 2, so that could be a storyline in this game. There it is. 2A game is underway. Kick will be fielded around the 17-yard line. Des Arc looking for a hole, not much there. That was Ian Holloway on the return, and right away you saw that Fordyce speed come into play. He was trying to stretch it out wide. There was no way he was going to get outside.
Yeah, Des Arc's a team that's built on running north and south, straight ahead. Running east to west is not going to be very successful, whether it's special teams or on offense, against this Fordyce defense that's got some speed.
Here come Des Arc Eagles. Luke Morton, the quarterback. You're going to see a lot of Ian Holloway, Travion Reed, Brock Dvorak, Jack Kirby. A lot of running over the next 4 quarters. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Looks over and gets his play. Checks that wristband. So they even do that, the triple option. Looks like we had a false start. A little anxious to start the game.
Yeah, one of those linemen got moving a little too quickly. It's a long time to stay down in the stance.
Before the snap, false start, Des Arc, 5 yard, still 1st down.
Nerves are always a part of the game to start the game, and usually after a series or 2, both teams will start to settle down, and maybe it's the team that settles down first that has a chance of pulling away. Morton hands it off right up the middle and quickly. You see that Fordyce defense.
Gary Lewis, the big linebacker, 6'2", 215 pounds, right there in the hole, and there's no dice there on the first rushing attempt for the Eagles.
Lewis had 53 tackles coming into this game. It makes a big impact on the first play of the game.
Perfect form tackle.
2nd and 14 for the Eagles. Ball on the 20-yard line. Morton keeps it, tries to get outside. The ball's on the ground. And how about the offensive lineman with the big play for the Eagles?
A nice job to pay attention, looking for somebody to block, and big number 59, Dalton Sears, jumps on the loose ball, 5'11", 215 junior, big heads-up play. You almost like to see the quarterback pitch it here. He's got the relationship there besides the tuck it and go. Thought he might have had a bigger play if he decided to let go of the rock, but Des Arc very fortunate to keep the football.
Dakota Wimberly got him from behind and knocked the ball loose.
And you've already mentioned the nerves. 1 false start penalty and a fumble early on for Des Arc.
3rd and 7. Now he pitches it out, and he's got room to run. He's got a 1st down and much more as the Eagles take it out to the 44-yard line. Ian Holloway with the nice run. Good pitch from Luke.
Yeah, nice job by Holloway to keep that pitch rotation and the distance, and catches it in stride, and he does the rest, and a great job of blocking at the point of attack for the Des Arc front.
You saw a lot of room to run right there. Good blocking from Des Arc, able to get outside.
Yeah, the receivers don't catch many passes. 60 yards is the leading receiver for Des Arc, but nice job by Jacob Dotson to get blocked downfield.
1st and 10 from the 44. Morton hands it off right up the middle. That's Kirby. That's the 2nd time they've tried to test the interior of
things off.
Give Colton Musgrove credit for that tackle. Pickup of 1. 2nd and 9. First drive of the game for Des Arc. No score. Morton pitches it out wide. Look at that Fordyce secondary. And that's a linebacker come up and made that play. They were ready to get outside. Joshua Harrington with the big play.
Nice job to get out there. Another senior, 5'11", 220. We're starting to catch a trend. A lot of size up front for Fordyce, and he does a nice job scraping over the edge, gets the pitch man, and makes a great open field tackle.
It's another good tackle from this Fordyce defense.
And that's what it's going to take. When you play a flex bone type team, you have to be fundamentally sound, because one broken tackle can lead to a big play.
Tackling in space will be key for Fordyce. A little misdirection there that time. Ian Holloway had nowhere to go.
Gary Lewis again, right up the gut. That's a good-looking football player right there, 6'2", 215 senior, and he blows that one up. Excellent job of recognition. Obviously, they've seen that play on film. The old counter play coming back underneath, and he shuts this drive down, and Des Arc's got to send the punt unit on.
Well, penetration there. He was in the backfield, and he had his pick of who to tackle, and he saw the handoff and was right there to jump on it. Eagles' first punt of the game is very high. It's short and going out of bounds. It does not go out of bounds. It takes a Fordyce bounce, and they'll down it at the 49-yard line of Des Arc. 11-yard punt right there. Fordyce takes over with great field position.
Yeah, it's the 11-yard punt there, and Fordyce's defense comes up with a couple big plays, and now the special teams goes the Redbugs' way, and now we're going to get our first look at this offense and see what Jaquez Cross, Jaheim Brown, and company can do.
Well, we were bragging on both defenses, and Fordyce's defense does their job. We'll see if Des Arc's defense can do the same and get the ball back. Jaheim Brown. No, that's not Brown at quarterback. They've got somebody else in. He hands it off. That is to Gary Lewis.
It's Dakota Wimberly. Listed at, well, I don't think that's the right player, because he's listed at 6'3", 320 pounds. So maybe some number changes for Fordyce we're going to have to check on.
They got a 30 in there right now. Everyone in the press box around us is scrambling, trying to figure out who this 30 is and where Jaheim Brown is. Shotgun, back to pass, looks out right, throws out right. He's got a receiver, but it's off his hands, incomplete.
Had his man open in the flat, just overshot his target in the flats, and that was going to be a big third down coming up for Des Arc. So a little confusion in the booth, try to figure out who this Fordyce quarterback is. Had his receiver wide open in the flat there, just couldn't connect. And now this is a big, big third down for the Des Arc defense. Try to get the football back, even though you gave up the ball at good field position for the Redbugs.
A lot of scrambling going on. Quarterback keeper up the middle, spinning, trying to get the first down, but the Des Arc defense does their job and stops them.
So it is number 6. So it is Jaheim Brown.
So Jaheim Brown has changed jerseys on us.
Yeah. Shout out to Rusty Bush, the head coach of the Alma Airedales, with the assist there.
Nice.
On the old text machine.
That's what Twitter and text messages are for.
Now we've got a big fourth out coming up.
Fordyce keeps their offense out there. Ball's on the 41. They need to get it across the 40, not quite to the 39. So let's call it a yard and a half they need for first down. It's like a power line right there. Big back through. Big back gets the first down, and Moore stays on his feet, and he is gone. Fordyce on fourth down with the 41-yard touchdown run.
That's why he's so dangerous. Jaquez Cross makes a man miss in the hole, breaks the tackle, and then he's off to the races. Such a dynamic player coming out of the backfield for Fordyce. Touchdown run number 21 on the season for Cross.
Some powerful running there from Cross. And you see the replay. Bounces off of the tackle, almost tripped up, and then you see the speed come into play. When he's in open field, no one from Des Arc is going to catch him.
Yeah, Des Arc sold out, tried to stop the run right at the line of scrimmage. And as soon as he broke that first wave, broke the first tackle, he was off to the races. And there's nobody on the football field tonight on either side that can catch Cross in the open field.
Extra point attempt, it's up. And it's good. So Fordyce takes a 7-0 lead early in the first quarter. You are watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns. This is a challenging time for our country and our communities. But it's also an extraordinary time when we're seeing the beauty and resilience of the American spirit as we come together to support one another, to celebrate the helpers, to stay home for the greater good. Through all of it, PBS will be there for you too. That is why we decided to re-air some of my films, starting with the Roosevelts, the national parks, and the war, to remind us that our country can accomplish great things in the face of tremendous adversity. In some ways, the mission of PBS, to engage, enrich, and enlighten, to educate and inspire, has never been more important than it is right now. Just as you are here for us, we are here for you. We are all in this together, and we will get through this together.
Back at War Memorial Stadium for the 2A state championship game. 7-0 Fordyce after Jaquez Cross goes up the middle, uses the speed, and outruns the Eagles to the goal line. We told you that was a guy to watch, and right away, Cross shows why. Purdue was all over him.
Yeah, there's no question that he's talented when he gets the football in his hands, and you pack so many guys in the box there like Desark did, and all it takes is one little seam, and he's gone.
Short kickoff fielded right at the 20-yard line. Eagles trying to get good field position. Do a better job of sticking their nose up there and going more east-west instead of north-south. Well, I guess here at War Memorial Stadium it is north-south.
Yeah.
Instead of east-west.
Run to the scoreboards.
Yeah, and he did a good job there. So the Eagles will take over at the 33-yard line. We were told during the break that Jaheim Brown, who's listed as number 6, wears 6 when they have their home uniform. On the road, in the road whites, he wears number 30.
Probably got dirty, got torn up in previous game or previous season. That's what you love about small school football. Can't afford to replace that during season.
Morton's got to play. He's talking with his players now. Desart needs to respond. Handoff up the middle to Kirby. Kirby goes over the left guard. Not much there. Pickup of maybe 2 on the play.
Gary Lewis again. We've already called his name a handful of times. You can tell he's probably responsible for that first man through the hole, the fullback. And there's going to be a lot of collisions between Gary Lewis and Jack Kirby.
2nd and 8. Desark with the ball on the 35-yard line. Eagles taking their time. Look at the spin moves from Morton, keeping the play alive, picks up a couple of blocks. He's able to get a first down and more. Luke Morton, got
taken out by his own player.
By his own player. What a run from Morton.
Trevion Reed's going to get credit for the tackle, even though he shouldn't. It was on his own player, but what a play by the quarterback to reverse field, use his blockers downfield, and create a huge play on what looked like was going to be a big loss.
Gain of 26 on the play. Desark moves into Fordyce territory. The ball is on the 41-yard line. Now, Morton looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss of about 7 yards or so. Ends up picking up a big gain for Desark. They're going to try the left side again. A little bit more success for Kirby that time. Tackle made by Jaquez Cross.
Yeah, they're just going to keep leaning on Kirby, the fullback, just straight ahead. And those are the plays that maybe get shut down to start the games. Maybe the late first quarter, 2, 3, 4 yards, but eventually you're going to break one. You're going to wear down the interior of that defense.
They'll take 4 yards on first down.
Absolutely. This is the old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
There they go again, pounding the middle. Not much there.
54-4 again. Josh Harrington, Gary Lewis. Combined 440 pounds between those two. And I think they're cheating Josh Harrington there. If that's 220, I'm a skinny man.
They'll give him a couple of yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 4, 4.5.
Which I'm not a skinny man, so that is not 220.
Morton puts it into Kirby's breadbasket again. Kirby did not get it. Picked up probably 2 on the play. Musgrove on the tackle. Brings up 4th and short, and got to feel like Desark's going for it here.
Yeah, definitely 4-down territory. Try to get a little momentum back for your offense. Gave up the big play with the defense. Chance to keep your offense on the field, which is going to be the best defense Desark can have tonight.
Little under 3 yards they need to pick up. Holloway went into motion.
Still got 10 on the play clock. Plenty of time to get it off. But it is a little unorthodox, Wes, to see a check with me in the triple option.
There's a pitch outside. He's got some room to run. He's got a 1st down and more. That's Travion Reed on the carry. Reed had 13 touchdowns on the season. You saw a little explosiveness out there on the outside. Jaquez Cross makes another tackle.
I believe it was Ian Holloway, who was on this side. He motions towards the middle of the formation. As soon as they snap it, he comes back to the right side as the lead blocker and sets the edge and able to help his teammate get a 1st down. You see number 2 right there on the right side of your screen.
Big 4th down conversion for Desark. They keep the ball, keep the clock ticking. Now they have the ball on the 24-yard line.
They're going to be slow and methodical. That's what they want to do. They slow the game down, limit the number of possessions.
Snap that with 2 seconds on the play clock. It's another nice run from Reed. Powell keeps moving. They blow the play dead, but he picked up close to 5 yards.
Yeah, the Desark offense is starting to feel it. They're starting to lean against that wall, and the ball's starting to budge a little bit. And Desark, they've obviously got here by attempting just 25 passes all season long. They're going to rely on the old bread and butter and take 5 yards every time they can get it.
This is a long drive. You know, that defense has been out there on the field a long time. And remember, most of those guys are probably playing offense too. And it starts to wear on you a little bit. This drive is already 7 plays and 48 yards. Morton hands it off. That's Holloway, but he cannot get outside this time.
Nice job by the quarterback, playing a little defense as well. Jaheim Brown able to stretch that one out and makes the play in space.
Third and 6 for Desark. Saw the offensive line. He just couldn't. It wasn't fast enough to get out there on Jaheim Brown. Couldn't get the block. Ran around the lineman and was able to make the tackle. Got to figure this is 4-down territory, so they got 2 plays to pick up 6 yards. Morton pitches it outside. They got a 1st down and much more. Reed, touchdown. Desark on the board.
A great execution of the option play, and they've got weapons. Travion Reed able to cap that one off. The sophomore showed off the wheels. Great downfield blocking again by Jacob Dotson. The receiver allowed his running back to get in the end zone.
Saw Cross coming in. Some of the defenders just a little too late to try to get him down, and Reed walks into the end zone.
It's a big answer drive for Desark. You mentioned they go for 2. You know, they give up the big play on 4th down. Fordyce takes an early lead. Now Desark answers right back and possibly can grab their first lead of this contest.
Reed's 20-yard run caps off a 9-play, 67-yard drive. Handoff up the middle. Cannot get in there. Nothing doing that time. Desark's unable to take the lead, so Fordyce stays in front, 7-6. 1 minute, 54 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a nice job by the Fordyce front to stack up that 2-point conversion attempt and keep the lead, but that's a big answer drive for Desark. They get the option game going, and we're starting to see this kind of offense break down a little bit, Wes. They're starting to see maybe between the tackles, not a lot of success, but they're having some success with the option game. Look to see that a little bit more coming up in their next possession.
Troy Lynch is down on the sideline for us. And Troy, could you tell that Fordyce, were they getting a little winded toward the end of that drive?
Yeah, it definitely felt like that a little bit, but also I haven't seen this much energy on a sideline in a long time. You know, I was talking with Coach BJ Paschal a little bit before the game. He just said this Des Arc team is tough, and I think Fordyce, they got punched in the mouth on that drive just because the Eagles, they came to play.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what Fordyce has as far as a response. We've seen Des Arc answer with a score after a score, and this could be an onside kick attempt.
It is an onside kick. High bounce. Ball is loose. It's on the ground, but Fordyce falls on it. Des Arc had a chance, but Fordyce was there to fall on the ball. Jareek Walker with the recovery.
Yeah, you'd see the way it was lined up on the tee, and Des Arc had a great opportunity to jump on the football, just not in the right spot at the right time, and Fordyce catches a break.
Fordyce will take over at the 46-yard line. Minute 53 to go in the first quarter. Redbugs with a 1-point lead after the Eagles respond. Nothing going on the first possession, but the last two possessions, these teams have marched down the field and scored touchdowns. Brown in shotgun. Brown hands it off. That's Gary Lewis, and look at the Des Arc defense close.
Great job by Kirby again. The linebacker able to get out there in space, make the play.
I also saw Morton coming in there at the last minute to help finish it off. Loss of 1 on the play. They'll mark it back close to the 45.
That's what I love about small school football, Wes. One guy's making plays on offense, and 2 plays later, he's got to go out there and make plays on defense.
You know, these guys are in much better shape than we are.
That's not saying much.
Quick toss out to the right. It's caught, but fighting for extra yardage. Not quite a first down, but he's knocked out at the Des Arc 48. Connor Ingle pushes him out of bounds.
Yeah, nice job by Walker. Catches the ball in space, got a block out in front, and able to fight for it for some extra yardage with a big, big 4th down attempt coming up. There's a 3rd down. Yard marker may be wrong.
3rd and 5. They just switched it back.
It teach you not to pay attention to the scoreboard and pay attention to the field, and well, I got burned on that one.
Brown's going to keep it. He goes over the right side. Plenty of room to run. Great blocking over that right side. He picks a first down, and he's at the 39-yard line.
And pick up a 9 for Brown, the quarterback. The first time we've seen him tuck it and go tonight, at least, but 62 rushing attempts on the season. As you mentioned in the pregame, not afraid to put his head down and try to pick up a few yards for his offense.
Came into the game as the 4th leading rusher on the team. I think he's probably passed Kristen Beelan for number 3. We haven't seen Beelan yet. Brown in the shotgun. He's going to toss it out. And the ball's on the ground. Cross put it on the ground, picks it up. He's finally thrown to the ground. I thought he was going to break Kirby's tackle and take off running on this towards us, and had all kinds of room to run.
Yeah, Cross just kind of lost focus there, caught the initial flip on the shovel pass from his quarterback, and then tried to pick it up and try to do too much and lost even more yardage. A big, big play for the Des Arc defense. That's a loss of
16 yards.
Loss of 16 yards.
How about Kirby holding on there and tossing him to the ground? If he doesn't get him down right there, he's got him by his wrist.
Holding him by his glove, or yeah, his play sheet on the wrist.
I thought Cross was going to spin out of it and take off running and maybe pick up a big chunk of yards. That's going to do it for the first quarter. Fordyce 7, Des Arc 6. Good 2A game going on at War Memorial Stadium. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Hi, Roger Scott for Big Red Stores. Big Red Stores is proud to support high school athletics and to sponsor these high school championship games. Over 40 Big Red Stores are located throughout Central Arkansas, each one staffed with our team members who have participated in games, marched in the band, or led the spirit teams in cheers. And now we are pleased to bring families, schools, and communities together. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever. Enjoy the games.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
The Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
John's Honda, your hometown dealer for sales and service of Honda motorcycles, ATVs, Honda generators, and Honda lawnmowers. Family owned and operated since 1967, John's Honda offers factory certified technicians and experienced sales staff.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Wes Moore, Bobby Swafford back with you at War Memorial Stadium, where Fordyce leads Des Arc 7-6. Big play from the Des Arc defense. They got a 2nd and 26. We've only seen 2 passes from Jaheim Brown and Fordyce. We may see some passing here. Brown rolls to his left. He is looking to throw, and he's looking to go deep. He has a receiver wide open, but Cross cannot come down with it. He did a great job of trying to get over the shoulder catch. That's what they talk about, adapting to the throw while it's in the air.
Yeah, Cross got behind the defense, but he's angling towards the sideline, looking over his inside shoulder, then tried to turn at the last minute to locate the football and just couldn't do it. And Des Arc's defense avoids the big play. Don't forget, you can join the football conversation on social media with us. Just use the hashtag ARPBSSports.
3rd and 26. Fordyce is at their own 45. They got to get to the Des Arc 29-yard line. Brown with 1 running back.
And Fordyce is going to burn a timeout on 3rd and 26. Last thing you want to do is take a delay, and the Redbugs take their first timeout 7 seconds into the second quarter.
Fordyce coaching staff was not happy about something. They were pretty emphatic over there on the sideline. Looked like maybe Fordyce had trouble lining up, so they had to burn a timeout. See a little momentum switching sidelines. Yeah. You know, after Cross goes up the middle on that big run, they were feeling pretty good. And Des Arc responded with a drive of their own, a slow, methodical drive down the field. And Des Arc has a chance to get off the field on defense and get their offense back out there.
But with the momentum that was in this stadium, that was all on the far side from us. Fordyce has more fans in the stands, but the Des Arc crowd started to get behind their defense. They get the offensive score. Obviously, the big play in the backfield, and now the Eagles have a chance to get their offense back with a stop here.
3rd and 26, just starting the second quarter. Previous 2 drives ended in touchdowns. Des Arc had 1, Fordyce had 1.
And if you're the Des Arc defense, you're finding where Jaquez Cross is going to line up and put a safety over the top of him. He's coming near side. You see him running motion there in front of his quarterback. He's going to be in the slot on the bottom of your screen, and try to find 2 bodies to get on number 2.
Back to pass. Cross is open, but he's going to the other side of the field. Jump ball falls incomplete, and that time Des Arc put a little pressure on Jaheim Brown.
Yeah, great coverage in the back end, allowed the front defensive unit get there and get home, and Des Arc's going to get the football back as the punting squad's coming on for the Redbugs.
I was watching Cross on that route, and he just kind of found a soft spot in the zone and was sitting there. He was open. Now, he was short of the first down. He would have to catch it and run about 15 yards, but you know, he's capable of doing that.
Yeah, Fordyce was trying to go for everything they could right there, and Montrell Neal was the intended receiver. They were trying to get all 26 yards of it.
Punts back. Good snap. Good kick. It's going to hit around the 20 and take a big bounce. Des Arc fields it and returns it up to about the 14-yard line. That was one of those kind of in-betweens. If you don't field it, there's that chance they down it on inside the 5, or you just field it and get what you can. Maybe it bounces into the end zone. It's hard to make a decision just like that.
Yeah, that's a good decision by Holloway. Go ahead and grab the football and get what you can, and don't take the risk of it going into the end zone. You don't want to get backed up inside your own 5.
Des Arc will take over at their own 14-yard line. Wharton looks over the defense. He's ready to go. Hands it up, hands it off right up the middle. Look like Kirby. Kirby's getting a workout already in this game.
They're going to track down number 80. That's a big body in the middle.
7th carry of the night already for Kirby.
All right, number 80 is Dakota Wimberly. He's the 6'3", 320-pound number 30 from earlier.
Okay, 30 goes to 80. Give it to Cole. Thought Kirby had it, but he didn't. Morton kept it. And he may have been looking to throw the ball.
Yeah, he tried. That worked once, stop and reverse field, and that time Jaheim Brown was right in his face and drops the Des Arc quarterback for a big loss.
Quarterback on quarterback crime right there. Yeah, I think he was looking to pass that ball. You see there, you get a good look at the big brace on Morton's left elbow.
It's Grant Morgan-esque.
3rd and 13. Not the ideal situation for Des Arc in this running offense. They're going to pitch it to the outside, and there's some room to run, but he's upended at the 19-yard line.
Great tackle in space by Cross. Comes up from his safety spot, makes the play, and it looked like Des Arc might have had a chance to get a first down, but Cross shuts that down with a great open field tackle. You can see him track the football there, and this makes the play, and that closing speed is pretty impressive.
Ian Holloway, we've seen him get outside a couple of times for Des Arc and have some success. Holloway and Reed have been able to use some of their speed. Not then, though. So Des Arc punts the ball from their 19-yard line. Punt is off. It's a low line drive. Gets a great bounce for Des Arc. They'll stop that at the 43-yard line. You saw Cross back there. He did. He wanted to pick that up and go with it. 38-yard punt for Des Arc.
Yeah, nice job to keep the punt away from the dangerous Cross. The last thing you want to do is, one, put your offense on the sideline, but two, give up a big play in special teams. So nice job by the punting squad to keep the football away from the dangerous Cross for Fordyce.
Well, you remember the first Des Arc punt only went 11 yards.
Right.
But you know what? It may be better off only going 11 yards than punting it to Cross. I was watching a college football game today with a team, and their team, special team, struggles a lot. And they were kicking to a punter, a punt returner who's really good. And I said, you know what? I don't think I'd ever punt to him. I think I'd punt it out of bounds every single time. And they punted to him, and he returned it for a touchdown.
I can't imagine what you're talking about.
Yeah, nice run there from Cross. He picks up about 6 yards on the play. Travion Reed makes the tackle for Des Arc.
For all you sports fans out there watching today, get the game live stats before we do. All you have to do is download the Engage Arkansas PBS app for your mobile device.
Cross is fun to watch. It's one of those guys I think we can root for going to Big Ten country and Purdue, and keep an eye on him and see what he develops into. That's Neal with the ball. He's trying to get outside. He's losing yards. Now he's able to turn the corner. He may have a first down. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds.
That's the one play that coaches absolutely hate, but they break it down on the film. It's still going to pick up 4 yards, but a dangerous, dangerous play by Neal. Goes for the short game, but it could have been a big, big loss.
Reed pushes him out of bounds, 1 yard short of the first down, so it's 3rd and 1 for Fordyce. And you look at the replay, he bounced it outside, and he was losing yardage there, and I thought this is going to be another disastrous play, but he was able to get away and get close to the first down. Now Fordyce picks up the first down. Good inside running, tough running, as they'll move the chains.
Yeah, quarterback sneak there for Jaheim Brown. Just leans forward, moves the pile, and picks up the big first down.
Ball will be marked at the 43-yard line. So into Des Arc territory. 8 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the first half. Fast game.
And we're rolling right along. Knock on wood, and then just jinx it.
Brown's going to go under center. He's got 2 running backs right behind him. He's going to hand it up the middle, and then here goes Lewis. Lewis to the 10, 5, Touchdown Fordyce, 43 yards.
And just a simple trap play to the fullback. All the eyes, of course, are going to be on Cross in the backfield. And Lewis takes the handoff, and the hole was massive, and he does the rest. He shows off the speed to go along with that 220-pound frame.
You nailed it. The guard pulled, trapped right there, hit the linebacker, opened up a big hole, and he was not touched. Watch the block there, 54, bam. Gets to the second level, nobody's there. Secondary's gone. He is gone. Kicks up. Kick is good. Fordyce expands their lead to 14-6. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
My name is Al Lopez, Papa Rap in the house. I live in Northwest Arkansas via Puerto Rico. Been here since 1994, desde 94. And really, Arkansas PBS is the one that has taught me about this great community that we have here. Wonderful, beautiful, so much programming, tanta programación for children, for grown-ups, porque es el canal de Arkansas. This is a real Arkansas channel.
Fordyce leads 14-6 over Des Arc in the second quarter of the 2A state championship game. We've seen two big plays from the Redbugs, and we've seen their speed.
Yeah, they've got some good-looking football players. We're just talking about how good Gary Lewis looks in a uniform. We've got size across the board and a little speed to go along with it, but that was a perfectly timed trap play, and Lewis hits the big play, and that's why they've got a 14-6 lead.
Des Arc has two kick returners ready to go at the 20-yard line. Fordyce ready to go. There's the kick, a line drive kick. Looks like it's going to, oh, it stops right before it goes out of bounds. Des Arc has to pick it up. And how about the broken tackles there from Des Arc? Ian Holloway takes it to midfield. Looked like Holloway was going to be stopped two different times, and he kept breaking tackle after tackle. 30-yard return.
That's a punishing kick return. You don't see that too often, but Holloway just put his head down, ran through a couple tackles, and great field position here for the Eagle offense.
Des Arc has owned time of possession in this game. They've already had the ball for 10 minutes and 33 seconds. Fordyce, 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 4 seconds. So Des Arc would love to go on another one of those time-consuming drives here and try to tie this thing up.
Yeah, but time of possession is one of the most confusing stats you'll ever see. It could be 80-20 one way, but all that matters is putting points on the board.
Morton hands it off. That's his big man, Kirby. Kirby gets it across the 50. He's down at the 49, pickup of 2. And you know who made that tackle once again?
Lewis. Doing a nice job up the middle. You can tell he's got his eyes on the fullback every time, and he's doing what he can to get 33 Jack Kirby on the ground.
Lewis has 3 carries for 47 yards, including that touchdown to 43 yards we just saw, but he's making a big impact on defense too. Morton, he's going to pitch it, and nothing there. You know why? Because there's Cross again.
Nice job of coming up from his safety spot. Cross, you could tell he had the pitch man. That was his assignment on that drive, or on that possession, on that play, and he's able to get there. And now Des Arc again behind the sticks, and the last place they want to be.
Morton was pitching it, hoping there was something there for his running back, because there was nothing there for him. Fordyce had that play covered up, whether it's the inside, the quarterback, or the outside. Not much. 3rd and 9. Morton decides to pitch it. He pitches it out to Reed. Reed gets outside, breaks a tackle across the 45, still on his feet. Reed spins all the way to the 43-yard line before Walker finally brings him down.
That's a great effort by Reed. Breaks a couple tackles. It looked like it was going to be a big play, but you see the closing speed of Fordyce, but able to get up close to first down yardage. But you see the safety starting to creep up and making these plays in the backfield. That's when, if you're Des Arc, you've got to go to that play action and try to hit the big play over the top.
Pickup of 7 on 3rd and 9, so now it's 4th and 2. Des Arc's offense still out there. Morton's walking over towards the coaching staff. Plays coming in, less than 10 seconds on the play clock. He's going to have to hurry or call timeout. I bet they call timeout. There you go. There's the timeout.
Yeah, this is a big play for Des Arc. They've got to answer like they did the first time, and you've got a chance to set up a 4th and 2. The entire playbook's wide open. They could go be as simple as the fullback dive straight ahead, the option, something coming up underneath, or maybe go to the passing game. These are the type of situations that's really advantageous for the offense, not so much for the defense.
Such a key run there, rush there on 3rd and 9. They're behind the sticks. It didn't look good for Des Arc. Just great effort, as you mentioned, picking up 7 yards. But you also see the speed from Fordyce.
Yeah.
That was a great run. That's 7 yards.
That's a touchdown in most two-way contests. And you see just the closing speed that Fordyce has. And, I mean, again, that's why they're in the state championship game. That's why they won a state title a season ago. They won 19 straight with Coach Timothy Rogers. And he's 97-40 as a head coach at Fordyce. And, sure, you're a good coach, but they've got some talent on that side.
Yeah, and speed. You mentioned it in 2A. You break a couple of tackles like that, usually you're gone.
Yeah.
He broke 2 tackles and picked up 7 yards.
Yeah, that's why these two teams are here in Little Rock. I mean, I don't know if there's a better scenario for a great high school football game. You're talking about 2 undefeated teams, 2 teams that have been battle-tested like these two have, and no shock that we've got a pretty good contest brewing here in the second quarter.
4th and 2, Des Arc's going for it. They've got 3 receivers out, 2 wide left, 1 to the right. Morton under center. Morton looking to keep it, dives forward and gets the first down. The dive got it for Morton.
Nice job to read his blocks and able to cut it upfield right outside the tackle and lunges forward, gives up the body, picks up 3 yards, and a crucial first down for the Eagles. The first Bobby Dazzler of the game.
That was just heads up, knowing where the sticks are, where you need to go to get the first down. You know, we saw it in the first game. We were impressed with the Pulaski Academy receivers. A lot of times on a 3rd and 7 or 4th and 8, they would run a 9 or a 10-yard route and catch the ball and pick up the first down because they knew where the chains were. That's a great example of knowing where the chains are on the dive to pick up the first down. Morton looking to pass. He's got a receiver, and he overthrows his receiver while running to the right. And I got to say, what I saw in pre-games looked nothing like that throw right there.
Yeah, he's rolling to his left. He's got to turn his body all the way back and try to fire it to the right. Not a great fundamental set there by Des Arc, but you know you got to throw the football to keep the Fordyce defense from coming at you. Just not a great effort there.
Yeah, it's hard to throw when you're rolling to your left, and then you throw a little behind you.
Yeah, back across your body. Tougher. Yeah, you're exactly right. You know, a lot of times that's why you see a right-handed quarterback roll right, left-handed roll left, and that time they tried to change it up, catch the Fordyce defense sleeping, but didn't work.
2nd and 10. Morton pitches it late, and he's got a great play in front of him. Look at Holloway. Holloway, after taking the pitch, cuts it upfield. There was nobody there.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit. It's a big play for the offense, but look at the speed and the closing speed for Joshua Harrington. Listed at 220 pounds, but able to track him down from behind. A touchdown-saving tackle by Harrington, and that's a lot of mass moving to save a touchdown.
29-yard play there, and give Luke Morton credit.
Absolutely.
He waited until the last second to pitch it. I thought he was going to keep it, and obviously the Fordyce defense thought the same thing. Pitches it out at the last second, and that opened things up for Holloway.
It takes a lot of confidence in your offense, faith in the system to be able to hold the football that long and pitch it that late, and obviously these guys know what they're doing.
Morton keeps it again, puts his head down, gets the ball to the 5-yard line. That's a pickup of 6 for Luke Morton.
As our can't pick up a first down without scoring here. Granted, it would be inside the 1. But you got to be impressed with the way Morton handles this offense. You know, he knows when to cut it up. He knows when to pitch it at the last minute, doing a really nice job of orchestrating this drive and chewing some clock, chewing some yards, and now they're all inside the 5.
Ian Holloway now with 43 yards on 7 carries. Luke Morton has 41 yards on 4 carries. Travion Reed with the touchdown earlier, 37 yards on 5 carries.
Yeah, Fordyce going to burn a timeout on defense. Let those big guys catch a break. And Des Arc, he's got some momentum going back there to side.
Well, it all started with the big kickoff return. Get the ball around the 50-yard line, and then they've just been chewing up yards all the way to the 5-yard line. Troy Lynch is down on the sideline. Troy, we were talking about Fordyce's size. Can you tell, standing on the sideline, is one team bigger than the other?
And it's got a pro and everything.
Yeah. I haven't used it, though, because we can't really see.
He got engulfed by the size of Fordyce.
Yeah.
Can't answer the call.
Sounds like Troy's on the sideline talking to someone else.
I mean, his boss has got to get a hold of that. I don't know who his boss is. Yeah. We got to fix something around here, Wes.
Yeah. Who are you talking to down there? We're tossing to you, asking you questions, and you got a different conversation going on.
I saw this incredibly high-tech chair, and it gets everywhere. You can go to every single sports game no matter what, and I was just super curious about it. It's got GoPros. It's got these awesome wheels. That's why I didn't hear you guys. I'm sorry. I was learning about this.
You were being a sideline reporter. I got you. Okay, good job. 2nd and 4, ball on the 5-yard line. Morton hands it off up the middle. Got about a yard or two. I thought for a second that Kirby was going to finally break through that line, but they grabbed him about the 4. Harrington with the play.
Yeah, Harrington and Lewis have been the two names we're calling the most on the Fordyce defense, and he comes up big on back-to-back plays there. This big 54, now it's a 3rd down.
Kirby, 8 carries, 16 yards. Not a whole lot up the middle for him. Got a flag. I think Fordyce may have gotten in the neutral zone. Now it's going to be half the distance since they're right there just inside the 5. It'll move it to about the 2.5.
So
if it is on Fordyce.
Yeah, so 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2.
On Fordyce, half the distance. Repeat, 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and about 4, 3rd and 3.5, that gives them 2.5 yards. So it's about a yard to go.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, 1.5, and again. And see what happens. Might hit the button there. That's my fault. Allegedly.
That clock has been ticking. That Des Arc offense chewing up the time. Morton looking to pass, and he's brought down. Fordyce defense did not buy the play action. Jarik Walker with the play.
Yeah, you call that knowing you're going to go for it on 4th down no matter what. And Des Arc's first read not open, and Jaheim Brown comes unblocked from the backside of the quarterback there. And Luke Morton had no chance to get away from Brown.
Brings up 4th down. They're looking over at the sideline, trying to figure out what they want to do here. It's 4th and 7. The ball is on about the 8, so they can pick up a 1st down. Morton pitches it late. Get to the outside, dive to the end zone, and he is marked out at the 1. I was waiting for the arms to go up. Arms never came up.
Now we're going to have to wait and see where they spot it, because they could have gotten a 1st down inside the 1, but where did they say he crossed out of bounds or hit down on the turf? And they may have to bring the chains from all the way to the other side. Nope, they're going to go ahead and give him the 1st down. So they go eagle eye.
Ball is on the 1, so
they didn't have to traverse the chains, those 53 1/3 yards from the other side. They're going to give him a 1st down.
Get a good look at it. See if he steps out. Oh, we may have.
We do have a review.
Yes, we do, on all scoring plays, and this may be a scoring play. At first look there, I never saw a foot step out of bounds, and I see the ball hitting the cone right there.
Yeah, so what they're going to look for here is conclusive evidence that he crossed the plane of the goal line without stepping out of bounds or out having a knee down. But on first look, watching it live, I thought he got in. Replay, maybe looks like he got in. We'll see how many different angles we have at it. But either way, it's going to be a 1st and goal from inside the 1 for the Eagles as we get another look here.
Yeah, let's take a look and see if he steps out of bounds or if a knee is ever down. He's in there. He's in there. Man, I got to say, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Now, we had 2 replays in the 5A championship game, and I thought there was a chance both of them would be reversed.
Yep.
Neither one of them were reversed, and I spoke with some of the guys in the crew before our game, and they said they want to be 100% sure that replay shows that needs to be overturned.
Yeah, they're not going to go with 95% sure.
Not 99.
Not 99%. They're going to have to be without a shadow of a doubt that the play was incorrect or correct on the field, whatever the case may be, before they overturn it. And that's why neither one were overturned in an early game. Here, I'm going to say that's a touchdown. But can they say in the booth about 3 doors to our left, can they say without a shadow of a doubt that was a touchdown?
I got to say I can. Watching it two different angles, I do not see a foot or a knee down. The ball crosses the plane. That's a touchdown.
I'm with you. Let's get the call.
After review, the ruling on the bill has been reversed. It's a touchdown.
I think they got it right. And that's exactly what we want to see it in the state championship game, Wes. They go to the replay whenever they have to, a scoring play or a turnover, and Des Arc is the benefit of the right call there as they get in the end zone.
A lot of people say, well, look, they're going to get it on 1st and goal from the 1. They're probably going to score. We've seen crazy things
absolutely
happen.
right.
You can bobble a snap. This Fordyce defense is really good. They could have held them for 4 downs. There could have been a fumble. Who knows what happens? Get it right. They got it right. Now, Des Arc for the 2-point conversion to tie things up. Big play. Chance to tie it up with 3:12 to go in the half. They'll hand it off up the middle to Kirby. Kirby fighting forward. And they're going to mark him short. No good.
The 4-point stance from the fullback, just dive straight ahead, can't get across the goal line, but again, Des Arc's offense able to answer with another big response drive, and they've already scored 12 points. Fordyce giving up 11 on the season per game, and we've got 2 big-time heavyweights in Class 2A duking it out.
I was looking at the time of possession right now. Des Arc, 15 minutes, 44 seconds. Fordyce, 5 minutes, 4 seconds. They've tripled up on time of possession. And I got to wonder later in the game if that doesn't make a bigger impact, especially in 2A when so many of these guys are playing both ways.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's the number of snaps, the number of times they're running right at you. There's one thing about the number of plays, but the way that Des Arc runs their offense, the physicalness, the running right at you, you've got to make contact every play. That'll take a toll.
Des Arc looking like an onside kick attempt. It's a squib kick, and Fordyce does a great job of fielding that right at the 50-yard line. That's Walker. We saw him just make a big play finishing off a sack of Jaheim Brown's a few minutes ago. And this time he fields the onside kick perfectly.
Yeah, he's recovered both onside kick attempts from Des Arc. If you want a copy of any state championship game up to this point, 7A, 6A, or 5A, or even this 2A contest, all you have to do is go to mnmproductions.net and place your order.
Fordyce will take over right at midfield, 50-yard line. We have 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half. Got Brown under center. Tosses it out to Cross. Cross has room to run. He's in the open. Watch out. Nice move. Flag is down. Cross is going to score. 10-5 touchdown, but we have a flag down at the 49-yard line. That would be a 50-yard run if it stands. But the way Fordyce is reacting, I'm saying this one's coming back.
Yeah, just the way the flag, where it came in from, that's another big play for the Redbugs. And we've seen a few of them already tonight, but that one's probably coming back.
Have a hold on Fordyce, 10 yards.
Huge penalty. Wipes off a 50-yard scoring play from Jaquez Cross. So instead of a touchdown, you're facing 1st and 20. Bring it back.
You see how dynamic and electric
what a move right
Cross
there.
is. I mean, just cuts on a dime. I mean, it's never hard to find the Division I athlete at any level. But, man, what Cross is doing, you could sit here, you could watch him play, make big-time plays on Saturday.
I was told by a coach to be a Division I athlete, you need to have a common fan sitting in the stands going, oh, that guy's special.
Yeah.
That's when you know you have a Division I. When everyone in the stadium knows there's something different about that one.
Yeah.
There's something different about Jaquez Cross. 2nd and 20, a handoff off the right side. Lewis keeps fighting, keeps moving his feet, does a good job picking up about 8 yards on the play. I'm going to give him 7.
Be sure to stick with us at halftime. Arkansas PBS halftime show with David Basil. He's got a profile of one of the most football-crazed small towns in Arkansas, and RJ Hawk's going one-on-one with the player we're talking about, Jaquez Cross, a 2A player on his way to Purdue next year. All that's coming up next on the Arkansas PBS halftime show.
6-yard gain before Luke Morton brought him down at 2nd and 14. Clock is ticking, 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go. They're going to toss it out to Cross again. Kind of similar to the same play. He gets outside before he's brought down by the neck. He crosses over the 50. He'll be marked out at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Desart did a much better job there stretching it out, making Cross go all the way to the sideline and use that boundary as another defender. Jacob Dotson wrestles him down around the neck. And it's going to be 3rd and long coming up for the Redbugs.
That's an old school tackle right there. Grabbed him around the neck and threw him down. I can hear some of the Fordyce fans booing, but no face mask there. Just tackled him up high. 3rd and 8. They need to get to the 40. Hand off to Cross. He's got room to run. Watch out. Cross is to the sideline before thrown out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Once again, you see the speed from Cross when he gets outside.
Yeah, Fordyce is going old school. They line up in the wing tee here. Simple off-tackle play. Lead blocker with your fullback, and Cross gets to the outside and gets a big first down as they move it up to the 30.
18-yard pickup before Travion Reed gets him out of bounds. Great pulling block from one of his offensive linemen, and that's what keyed that play.
Yes, Desark seeing a little taste of their own medicine, a little power football.
Brown hands it off to the first man through, and there's nobody there. Gary Lewis breaks to the outside. 5, touchdown Lewis. 30 yards for the Redbugs.
The second time they go fullback trap, and the second time it's wide open in the middle of the field. And a big-time run for Lewis, and he caps it off with his 2nd touchdown run of this first half.
And he was touched right there, but I was about to say that's the 2nd time he's gone in untouched.
He's had an outstanding game so far, both offensively and defensively.
So Fordyce takes a 20-12 lead with 2 minutes, 1 second to go in the first half. Gary Lewis with 84 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good average.
Yeah, and
16.8 yards a carry.
And add what he's done on the defensive side of the football. He may be your early leader for the MVP.
Allen's kick is high, but gets over. So Fordyce expands their lead to 21-12.
You mentioned it early on, Wes, that the extra points could be a difference, and that PAT right there makes it a 2-score game. You know, Desark's 0 for 2 on going for the 2-point conversion. Fordyce banged home all 3 PATs. Doesn't matter how it looked. All that matters is that it went through. That's how they've got a 9-point advantage.
2 minutes and 1 second to go for Desart.
Got two timeouts. Not a ton of time for the offense that they run, but you know, hit a couple big plays with the option, and you never know. But most importantly, can't give the football back to Fordyce. You've got to be able to chew up the final 121 seconds in this first half if you're Desark.
Shouldn't be a problem since Fordyce only has 1 timeout left. You would think that they could run it a couple times, maybe pick up a first down. But so far, they've attempted just 1 pass. Yep. Now, there were 2 others that they were trying to throw where they were sacked. So they haven't had any success throwing the ball so far.
And they're just going to run the football. They're going to try to get to the half, down 9. If you pop a big one in the running game, maybe you try to push it down the field at that point. Also depending on the return here. But if you're Desark, you're not going to try to do anything crazy that would cost you a chance of getting to the half down by just 9.
Maybe try to get Reed outside with some room to run, a little one-on-one. Line drive kickoff fielded at the 18-yard line. Makes 1 cut, gets up the middle to about the 38-yard line. So nice return for Desark. Return of 20 yards. They'll take over at the 38 with 1:55 to go.
Yeah, so there's 3 straight runs that could run it out the clock. Of course, you know, 40-second play clock in high school. So as long as they keep the clock running, they don't have to give it back. But here, see if they can hit a big play with the option and try to give their offense a chance to score before the half.
Need a big play. They got to get a chunk play. Morton's talking with his running backs right now, lining everybody up. Morton looking to pass, scrambling out to his right, still scrambling. Now he gets rid of it. He has a receiver out there in the vicinity, so just incomplete.
Yeah, Jarick Walker in the backfield there with the pressure. Had time to throw. Nice job by the offensive lineman initially to give the quarterback Morton time to scan the field, but just great coverage by Fordyce. Good assignment football in the back end. It's really easy as a defensive back to kind of lull into that false sense of security. Okay, they're going to run the ball. I'll just kind of watch it and not really pay attention to the wide receiver. Kudos to the Redbugs defense there.
2nd and 10, minute 48 to go in the half. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little running play here. Make Fordyce use their last timeout before you decide what to do on 3rd down. Morton pitches it late. Pitch out to Reed. Reed, space to room. Room to run. Space out there on the right side. He picks up the 1st down. Knocked out just short of the 50-yard line by Neal.
A nice job. 12-yard pickup for Reed on the option. Another late pitch. Morton doing a great job getting to football to his playmaker in space.
Clock starts ticking. Des Arc will want to pick it up a little bit.
It's a helpless feeling as a defender. You're standing there waiting for the quarterback to come to you, and all of a sudden they pitch it, and you're flat-footed, and you can do nothing about it.
Yep, he's gone around you. Too late. Morton hands it off. Up the middle. Picks up about 4. May use a timeout here. They yanked the ball loose, but the officials said they'd already blown it dead. Fordyce wanted it late when they saw that ball loose.
Yeah, a little extracurriculars there as well. A couple some players shoving there at the end of the play, but no flags.
As our coaches say, hurry up, let's go. Morton pitches it late again. See if he can get a block to the outside. He does. Close to a 1st down. For Cross, throws him to the ground.
It's a great spot by the official, at least if you're a Des Arc fan.
Yes, I thought he was short about a yard, but they're going to give him the 1st down. So stop the clock, move the chains. 35 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, he might have picked up an extra yard on the bounce off the turf.
Get to save a timeout. Yep. Des Arc still has 2 timeouts. They start the clock. Morton, toss sweep. It's a halfback pass. He's going to throw it deep. Is that Jaquez Cross with it? Nope, that's Neal with it. Neal picks it off. Probably shouldn't have thrown that one.
Yeah, double coverage on both receivers that were in the vicinity. It's not your quarterback. You try the trick play, and it doesn't work. And, what was looking to be a promising drive for Des Arc goes for naught as the trick play gets busted.
Cross was back there and almost made the bold prediction that the state's leader in interceptions at 8 and who had 10 the year before would not have one tonight, because I didn't think Des Arc was going to throw the ball too much, but I was glad I didn't make that prediction. I saw the single-digit guy go up and make the catch, and I thought that was Cross. I knew he was in the vicinity, but that was Neal with the play. Big play by the Fordyce defense. They step up in that drive. And they will, I was going to say just go to the half with it, but you see the fight from Jaquez Cross. He's not ready to go to the locker room just yet. He picks up 14 yards before Travion Reed knocks him down.
Yeah, the 1st down is going to move the chains and stop the clock, and Redbugs can get on the football and snap it again before they have to burn a timeout, but Fordyce does go ahead and take their last stoppage here in this 1st half.
As long as I got Jaquez Cross on my team, I'm going to try to get him the ball, because you never know. He can take it the distance on any single play.
Yeah, Fordyce is starting to have a lot of success in the running game, especially right up the middle. So why not give it to Lewis? Why not give it to Cross one more time and see what they can do?
That was the last timeout for Fordyce. I thought they may hurry to the line, run a play, save that timeout for the next play.
Yeah, they didn't get lined up on the football quick enough, so they have to burn the timeout there. But even if you pick up 10 or 11 more yards here with a running play, you do have time to line up and run another play, assuming that play is not one where you're trying to get extra yardage and stay in bounds.
Tim Rogers talking over with his Fordyce Redbugs. Head coach of Fordyce has drawn up the play, and they're ready to go. 14 seconds to go in the half.
Got a few roster changes for Fordyce. Apologies to everyone involved. Number 22 is going to be Trey Merritt, not Jariq Walker like we've talked about. So 22 is Trey Merritt. Apologies.
Brown tosses it out to Cross. Cross trying to get outside. If he gets a block, he's got a lot of room to run. He cuts it out to the 50. They catch him from behind, tosses him down to the ground. 6 seconds left in the half. It's a 1st down. The clock will stop. Fordyce coaches are telling them to get on the ball. They want to down it. They want to spike it. Clock has not started yet. There it goes. They down it. 3 seconds left.
Yeah, Fordyce ran a player on late, so they're going to get an illegal substitution. And
the player's getting chewed out, but he's trying to tell him, look, this is what I was doing. This is what I've told. 27-yard run for Cross.
Yeah, Cross had to come out late because his helmet came off, so that means they had to replace him. Try to run him on late, didn't get on in time, and that's what the flag's about.
And with the clock running, I don't know if it's like the NFL rule with they have a time run off. If that's the case, that would be it.
We're waving the flag off. There was an injury on the play on Fordyce. It has to be a substitution. Clock, put 6 seconds back on the clock.
So now Fordyce will be able to line up and not have to worry about spiking the football in this run of play.
Des Arc fans did not like that, in case you couldn't hear the reaction. I'm getting ready to start the clock. There they go. They wind it. It's running. They're going to hand it up the middle. Nothing there. They've had some success running up the middle with Gary Lewis. That time nothing was there. Just not the play I was expecting with one last play, one last chance. But Fordyce will take the lead to the locker room. They're up 21-12. We got Troy Lynch trying to chase down Coach Tim Rogers of Fordyce. I think he has him right now. Troy.
Just got to make some adjustments on defense. Des Arc's a great team, and we knew they'd give us problems on offense as far as that option. We got to adjust to that at halftime. But on offense, I think we're moving the ball out of the wing pretty good.
Yeah, what kind of changes on defense do you plan on making?
I can't tell you that now, but we're going to adjust some things. Some things we worked on. We got to have to adjust them a little bit because they have adjusted their option attack, and it's giving us some problems. So we're fixing to go at halftime, try to fix it.
Can't blame me for asking, right, Coach? Hey, good luck in the second half. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
I like it. Get the secrets out now.
Good try, Troy. Yeah, you never know. Somebody from Des Arc's watching, and they could text one of the assistants down in the locker room, say, "Hey, this is what Tim Rogers just said on TV. They're gonna change this up."
I like to think that we've got that much power. I really do.
It's Troy for you, trying to disrupt things for the coaches down there. Here's some stats for you in the first half. Luke Morton, 0 for 2, no yards passing. We kind of predicted that. It's going to be a lot of rushing for Des Arc. We got a lot more stats when we come back. You are watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
Fun first half for the 2A state championship game between Fordyce and Des Arc. Fordyce leads it 21-12 as we head to the break. We're We got some halftime adjustments going on, but Coach Rogers wouldn't tell us what exactly those are going or what's going on. I got to think one of the things is with Des Arc, they're having some success to the outside. Right. You've seen several times Luke Morton hold it to the last second, pitch it, and they've had a lot of room to run to the outside.
Yeah, all the focal point for the Fordyce defense has been collapsing on the fullback dive, stopping it from the inside out. Now they've got to get out there and keep that pitch relationship and break that up for the Des Arc offense, because you mentioned that late pitch is what Des Arc's had so much success with. So now you're going to probably see those safeties or linebackers start to fly out a little bit more, which means the middle of the field could come open.
Well, that's good news for Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby ran the ball 9 times for 16 yards. Yeah, they tried to pound the middle, but they didn't have any success.
It was pretty tough sled and a lot of bodies. And the size advantage for Fordyce up the middle, if we take a look at the first half stats, that's really what jumps out to me. When Des Arc's got the football, Fordyce is just plugging up everything inside, forcing the Eagles to get to the outside, but they have had some success out there.
210 total yards for the Redbugs, 161 yards for the Eagles. Rushing, that's all the Eagles have done, 0 passing yards. And really, Fordyce only 7 yards passing. A little bit of a surprise for me because they've had some success coming into this game throwing the ball. Their quarterback, Jaheim Brown.
Yeah, almost 1,900 yards.
Yeah, had 26 touchdowns throwing the ball. They get Jaquez Cross involved, 35 catches, 751 yards receiving. Trey Merritt's been a factor, Neal, Lewis. But today, just the 7 yards passing. But when you're able to run the ball, you've got Cross and you got Gary Lewis, why change anything?
Yeah, the last two numbers on that screen said it all. The average yards per play for Fordyce and then time of possession for Des Arc completely flipped. But when you're averaging almost 10 yards a play like Fordyce is, it's really easy to get the time of possession rolling against you because you're hitting the big plays and scoring quickly.
And you got to wonder about Des Arc defensively. What do they do to counter the speed that we've seen from Fordyce? Because when Cross has gotten to the open or Gary Lewis has gotten the open, they can't catch them. Those guys' speed and quickness have been a huge factor.
Yeah, that last play of the half was the first step. They shut down the fullback trap. They're able to recognize that. But then they've had a chance to bottle up Cross. They forced him to the outside a couple times, but getting him down to the ground is a completely different story. It's rallying to the football. You're not going to make a tackle on Cross in space by yourself. You've got to have help and force him back into the inside, and that's the one thing Des Arc's got to do.
And Des Arc not being able to convert their 2-point conversions. Right. That's a big play right now, down 9 points instead of, if they get one of them, it's 21-14 and still a one-possession game. We're about 15 minutes away from the second half. We've got halftime entertainment coming up. David Basil's up next. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Hi, Roger Scott for Big Red Stores. Big Red Stores is proud to support high school athletics and to sponsor these high school championship games. Over 40 Big Red Stores are located throughout Central Arkansas, each one staffed with our team members who have participated in games, marched in the band, or led the spirit teams in cheers. And now we are pleased to bring families, schools, and communities together. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever. Enjoy the games.
Welcome to the Arkansas PBS Sports Halftime Show. I'm your host, David Basil. Thank you for joining us this evening for all the 2A action. I'm always impressed by the heart that players exhibit because it means so much to them. And football also means a great deal to some of the smaller communities that make up the 2A classification, like in the city of Fordyce, which loves and supports their Redbugs. Let's take a look at this Arkansas PBS Emmy-nominated winning profile from last season titled Friday Night Fordyce.
Friday night in Fordyce is electric.
Friday in Fordyce is special.
To me, football in Fordyce means a way of life.
Magical. You can't even explain it. As a kid, I remember you could hear the drums beating, you could hear the band, you could actually hear the cheerleaders cheering, and we would all be walking to the game, and once we heard that, we started running in that direction and get to the game before the kickoff.
Fordyce Redbugs get set to do battle with the Hampton Bulldogs here in Fordyce on a historic Paul Ryan Field here on 98.9 FM, KBJT AM 1590.
All tails, gonna hit the ground, guys.
It's a really, really rich tradition here. So the program started back in 1904. A lot of people don't realize that.
Fordyce football started in 1904 at the Clary Training Academy. 1906, we played our first game with El Dorado here at home. Of course, Fordyce won that game.
Coming through the early 1900s, you get to the late 20s, early 30s, and we get to a guy named Paul Bear Bryant. And the rest is history from there.
Bear Bryant, of course, he played his football at Fordyce.
Being in a town where Paul Bear Bryant played football at, and he was the winningest coach in NCAA history for college football, that make you feel pretty special. Then we watched guys play in a Super Bowl more than once that wore that Redbug jersey.
That coaching tree was really, really fruitful in regards to the coaches this town produced. There's a lot of really impressive coaches that's come out of this town. Coach Parker, Coach Laceville.
Another strike down the left side, has a man there, number 1, Trey Hudson catches on the sideline. It just runs out of road, the ball was in.
About 30 years. My first game was the first game of the 1990 season, and I've just missed 3 in 30 years. It's always good for a Friday night.
Everybody look forward to Friday night. The guys get off work, and man, they only have one thing on their mind: go home, take a shower, get ready to watch those Redbugs.
So 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard gain. Rambling around from the shotgun, has a man there wide open. Almost, and he dropped it.
That to me, that's just small town football. I know there may be other places that have bigger crowds, but when you come to our place with our stadiums and the way that we are, I mean, you're right there on the field. You're part of the ball game, and you can hear and see everything.
Hey, we need to get the ball back. Hey.
During the game downtown, I think it's empty. I think everybody's at the football game on Friday night. Matter of fact, we have to make sure we got a policeman to patrol the neighborhoods, because if you want to rob anybody, you can rob them on Friday night in Fordyce, because nobody's going to be home. Everybody be at the football field. Yeah, somebody get the house broken into. After you add a story, it'll be on me.
The only Redbug in the country.
Fordyce Redbugs, the story is that when they were clearing the football field, that they got infested with chiggers.
Well, I tell you, we're the only Redbug in the nation. When I ordered my class ring, I'll never forget they was telling us, man, there's a lot of tigers and a lot of bears, but man, they had to specially make a Redbug.
The Redbug mascot itself kind of tells the whole story. Redbug is a small little arachnid that you cannot see with the naked eye. He's so small. But you let him bite you and you have been inflicted a wound.
Football is just a way of life here in this town and community, and it's going to continue being that way. It's not just us coming through now. We're having a really successful year, but this started long ago. We're just a part of a very special tradition.
And quarterback draw here. He's off and running. He will score.
Isn't it incredible the strength a small town can take from their successful high school football team? And what's even more impressive, the Redbugs have had an even stronger season in 2020, ranked number 1, 5-0 in conference, and the perfect regular season, 10-0. One of their athletes, Jaquez Cross, has been a huge contributor for the Redbugs. Our RJ Hawk caught up with him to see just how an incredible season like this comes together. Let's check it out.
Thanks, David. I'm here with one of the most electrifying wide receivers in the state of Arkansas. His name is Jaquez Cross from Fordyce High School. Jaquez, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Well, I first got to say that I'm really impressed with you. I saw you in the 2A state championship game last year. You played wide receiver, you played safety, and I told, when I was doing the broadcast, I told everybody, I said, this kid's going to get a scholarship offer somewhere. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere. And then we find out a few weeks ago that you were committed to go play for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yes, sir.
My first question, though, is why Purdue? Of all places, I mean, it gets kind of cold up at Purdue.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's just the relationship I had with the staff and Coach Chris Barkley, my recruiting coach. Like, just everything was a great connection, and I just felt comfortable with the move. Yes, sir.
I tell you, you go from small town Arkansas in Fordyce to go play Power 5 football. That's going to be a little bit of a culture shock, I would imagine, right?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. But I'm just excited about it all because, and not a lot of people where I am in the same position that I'm in. So I'm just excited about it. Yes, sir.
Let's go back to that state championship game last year that you guys played in. I mean, I think somebody told me it had been since the late 80s, early 90s since Fordyce had won a state championship, and
Yes, sir.
you guys got to do it. What's it been like over the past year since you guys inside the community? Are you guys local heroes in Fordyce right now?
Yeah, we get uplifted for sure. Yes, sir, a lot. But the only thing on our mind is just trying to get back and being perfect while doing it. By perfect, I mean going undefeated 14. Well, Earl forfeited the game this week, so it'll be 14-0. We just want to go 14-0 and do better than we did last year.
What's been the biggest struggle with this year? You know, now that you've got that target on your back, what's been the hardest thing about this season?
Well, really, all of the COVID procedures, but other than that, I'd say other than that, we don't really have a lot of difficulties.
It comes pretty natural for you guys, huh?
Yeah. Well, besides everybody gonna play us harder. We ain't gonna get a look by looking at it on film, because playing us, everybody gonna play 1,000 times harder, because of course they want to knock off the #1 team. Yes, sir.
So what does Jaquez Cross do whenever you're not practicing football? I know you play basketball as well.
Yes, sir.
What do you do when you're not competing or practicing for a sport?
Nah, not much, sir. I'm probably playing the game. I like playing Apex or Madden or 2K or something like that. But other than that, I'm not really doing too much.
Who's your favorite overall, either college football player or NFL player?
I'll probably have to say Alvin Kamara. That's probably my favorite NFL.
Really?
player. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you guys play two totally different positions, though. Kamara's a running back. You're a wide receiver. Why Kamara?
No, I play both.
Okay.
I play both, and it's just from him just being in a running back standpoint, he can run the ball. He can run the ball in between the tackles. He can be physical. Or you can put him as a wide out or a slot receiver, and he can run routes just as great as any receiver, and he's gonna catch the ball. So
okay, so I know that you can't really celebrate a whole lot after you score a touchdown, right?
Yes.
But there's got to be something you do with your teammates after you score. Do you give the muscles up? What do you do?
Nah, I give all the thanks to God every time I score. I just get on the knee. You know what I'm saying? Probably like you would see Tim Tebow or something do. So yeah, yes sir. That's the only celebration I get. That's probably the celebration I can do without having to worry about a penalty. So.
Okay, so I know you play basketball and football. What, in your mind, are you equally as good at basketball as you are football, or are you a better football player?
Yeah, I would say I'm a slight bit better at football. I mean, basketball, when I was younger, I used to really like basketball a lot more, but as I got older, I fell in love with football.
Well, man, Jaquez, it's been a pleasure talking with you, buddy. And hey, best of luck with you in your career at Purdue, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
David Basil, I tell you what, I really like Jaquez Cross, and he's going to be a heck of a football player for Purdue. Back to you at the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame.
Thanks for the great interview, RJ. And we congratulate the Fordyce Redbugs on their fairy tale season. 2 seasons ago, Arkansas PBS covered the story of an unlikely football star in the making who showed a talent and love for the game. Let's revisit her story right now.
My name is Jada Tatiana Nicole Arzola, and I play guard and tackle, and I love hitting boys.
She's changed the way I believe in girls playing football. I thought she ain't gonna make it. But as soon as we put her in pads, she got out there and trucked the first kid, I said, yep, she's gonna make it. Because at first, they really can't tell she's a girl, just other than her ponytail hanging out of the back of her helmet. It was like, number 46 is pretty good. And I was like, yeah, she's a girl. And they couldn't hardly believe it.
Girls can do things boys can do, but boys don't think they can.
She has really, inspired a lot of kids to play. Like I said, we've got girls that want to play all the time, but everybody just can't do what she does. You just can't get out there and play smash mouth football like she does. A lot of these girls can't.
Wow, Jada is an inspiration to all of us. After conquering the gridiron last year, she's taken her talents to the hardwood, playing basketball as a Raider at Riverview Junior High. Good luck this year, Jada. That's going to do it for this edition of the Halftime Show. Be sure to keep up with all the championship games, including team and player stats, on the Arkansas PBS Engage app. You can download the app at the App Store and Google Play. I'm David Basil. Let's get you back to the action at War Memorial for the conclusion of the 2A championship on the home of the high school state finals, Arkansas PBS.
1 half down, 1 half to go for the 2A state championship game. Fordyce leads Des Arc 21-12 as we get set for second half action. A lot of running in the first half, Bobby.
7 yards passing in the first half. It's like if you could find the complete opposite of the first game today, the 5A state championship, we're seeing it out there tonight. 335 yards, I believe it was, in the first half passing for Pulaski Academy. 7 yards combined between these two teams. We knew it was going to be a ground and pound type game. Des Arc with the old flex bone. They're going to try to ground it out, shorten this game up, but the big plays for Fordyce have been the big difference.
Yeah, Fordyce came into the game. They throw the ball. They don't have a problem throwing the ball, but they're having so much success running the ball. Why stop what's working? You look at some of the big plays from the game, and you got to start with Jaquez Cross when you talk about Fordyce. He had a big touchdown run there in the first quarter, 41 yards, and that gave Fordyce a 7-0 lead. Des Arc came back, and Travion Reed takes it in from 20 yards out. They tried the two-point conversion. It was no good, and so Fordyce still led 7-6. Reed showed a little speed there, didn't he?
He did, and a great job blocking downfield, and we've seen it a few times from Des Arc, but this is the player that you've really got to keep an eye on for Fordyce, the big defensive end / fullback. Gary Lewis breaks 2 big, long touchdown runs, made a handful of plays defensively, and the fullback for Fordyce has really been the Achilles heel for Des Arc's defense.
Gary Lewis, 6 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That's a good average.
He's averaging a touchdown every 3 carries, and that's an average of 14.5 yards per carry. Jaquez Cross, 7 carries, 97 yards, so he's close to 100 yards in that first half. Jaquez Cross did not catch a pass in the first half. It was just Troy Merritt, and that was another number change for us. Apparently, Fordyce changes numbers with their home and road uniforms, and tonight Trey Merritt's wearing number 22.
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't be too shocked by the fact that Gary Lewis is having a big night on the ground. Did come into tonight 754 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns, so he's got an even 15 now on the season. So a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield with Cross, and I mean that's the difference. That's a lot of weight trying to you want to bring him down, and probably kind of like Des Arc does, you use the big fullback to lean on you and wear you down. Lewis can probably do that the other side.
And Jaquez Cross came in into the game needing 128 yards to get 1,000 yards rushing for the season. He had 97, so he's 31 yards away from reaching 1,000 yards as a runner.
Yep, and he doesn't have the exact number, but he knew what he needed coming into tonight. That's a number he definitely want to get. Doesn't matter what level you're playing, high school, college, or the pros. 1,000 yards rushing is a special season, and he's knocking on the door of it.
Too bad we can't get him 249 yards receiving and have 1,000.
Yeah, those are rare. 2,000 and 1,000 are even more rare, and we saw that accomplished earlier today with Joe Hyman from Pulaski Academy.
The MVP of the 5A state championship game. They've added a couple of minutes on the clock to give both of these teams time to stretch and get ready for the second half. Now, Des Arc will kick off to start the second half. This is a big drive for their defense. They don't want to allow any points from Fordyce.
Yeah, they've got to shut it down. They're already down 9, down 2 scores. You really can't allow that to balloon anymore. They're a methodical type offense. They're going to take some time to march down the field and score, barring a big play, of course. But this is not an offense that's built to play from behind. That's why it was so important, as you mentioned a couple times, the 2-point conversions. Even if you only get one of the 2, it's still a 1-possession game. Now it's at 9 points. Fordyce gets the football with a chance to maybe put this game away. There's still a lot of football left, but a score here for Fordyce would be huge.
Des Arc has a good offense that averaged 41 points per game this season, but it's been a little tougher in the playoffs for Des Arc because the competition goes up. Last week they scored 22 against Junction City. City, I could see them scoring 12 more points or 14 more points in this game. That's why you see if Fordyce scores another touchdown, all of a sudden that's 28 points for Fordyce. It gets a little tougher for Des Arc.
Yeah, that's maybe why you tip the cap a little more to Fordyce scoring 21 points in the first half, because Junction City's as good as a 2A program you're going to find. Scores just 20 points last week against this Des Arc squad. So Fordyce is doing everything right at this moment. Still got 24 minutes left to play. A lot to figure out as we play these final 2 quarters.
Those 2-point conversions will be key for Des Arc. I was just doing the math in my head. If Fordyce scores, well, they're down 16. Well, that's still a 2-possession game. You get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion 2 different times. Then you're right there at 28. Then they're going to need to convert on those 2-point conversions. That set them behind in the first half. All right, we're all set for the second half of football, the 2A state championship game. Our last game of this weekend.
Got Troy.
Next weekend, 2 more games, the 3A and 4A game. Let's go down the sideline and check in with Troy Lynch.
Yeah, Coach, you guys are down 9 going into this second half, but you guys played a really tough first half. What did you tell your guys going in the locker room?
Hey, we just got to stick with it. You know, it's a tough first half. We got to find a way to stop the inside run. So D-line up front, we just got to be a little bit better up front. But I'm proud of what our kids have done. We just got to keep going.
Best of luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach.
Talk about last-second interview right there. We're ready to kick off.
Shout out to the man.
E.J. Pascal on here, and the onside kick. Did Des Arc jump on that? I got blocked out. I couldn't see who came up with it. No, Fordyce got it.
Yep,
that was I got to say, that was a good recovery from Trey Merritt. He waited till the last second. You know, sometimes you want to be aggressive and attack that. And he was trying to decide what to do, but he pounced on it and recovered it.
Yeah, he's recovered all 3 onside kick attempts. He's got to give a lot of credit to Trey Merritt. There, you said there is patient, waited for the football to lose some of that spin, jump on it, and Fordyce has great field position to start the second half.
Good hands guy on the team. Trey Merritt was second in receptions with 19 catches, 344 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So they take over at the 50-yard line. That's Cross with it. Cross breaks a tackle. Backs his way up for about 4 yards on first down.
We're just halfway home here, but don't forget you can experience all the action over and over again next week. You can watch all the championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports Features at youtube.com/ArkansasPBS. The 7A and 6A title games already up. Of course, the 5A and 2A games will be up on Monday.
Dalton Sears makes the tackle for Des Arc. 2nd down and 6 for the Redbugs. Brown. And we got a flag down. Whistle stops the play. Fordyce receiver up top's got his hands out like, what'd I do? What'd I do? So I'm guessing this is on Fordyce.
Procedure is Fordyce, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That'll wipe out the big gain. Or the 4-yard gain and add a yard to it, so 2nd and 11.
Yeah, that's why penalties are so frustrating. You can get what you want on first down. You get the 4 yards. You get in front of the sticks, and all of a sudden the procedure penalty wipes out that play, and now you're backed up in 2nd and long, which is the one thing you're trying to avoid in the first place.
Jaheim Brown goes under center. He's got 2 running backs behind him. Cross is going to take it right up the middle. Cross is brought down. He gets that 5 yards back.
Nice job by 52, Cooper Childers, gets around the ankles across and limits that to the 5-yard pickup.
Bring a 3rd and 6. Big play here for Des Arc. Try to get the ball, not allow any points from Fordyce to open the second half. Fordyce keeping it on the ground. I was looking earlier, just 7 total passes in the first half.
A little confusion pre-snap here for Fordyce, but still got plenty of time to get this play off.
Brown tosses it out to Cross. Cross trying to get outside. Now Cross wants to throw it. He's got a receiver there and also a Des Arc defender. It is picked off by Des Arc. They're coming the other way. Out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Jacob Dotson with the interception.
Dotson's done a great job in the running game as a blocker. That time he shows he can catch the football as well. Great coverage. We've seen a trick play both ways now result in an interception. And the pass by Cross well underthrown into double coverage. A big play for the Des Arc defense.
I wonder if Dotson just waved off his safety and told him, I got this, I got it. Because the safety was coming across and he kind of turned his head and looked at Dotson and Man, 13-yard return on the play. We've seen 2 disciplined defenses now on those trick plays. A lot of times you get that running back with the toss. He's out wide. Here come the safeties crashing down to make the play. And they've stayed at home and done a really good job of picking it off.
It'd be real easy as a safety to come crashing up when Cross has the football in his hand. So that's a great job. It's a great point you bring up there, Wes, about safety staying at home, being disciplined with your eyes and the physical nature as far as your body, keeping that receiver in your peripheral as we pick up 5 here for Des Arc. Great job by the Eagles defense.
Honestly, probably the best run that we've seen so far, right up the middle for Des Arc and Jack Kirby. Kirby and Des Arc, another big push on first down. He may have a first down. It's going to depend on the spot. The official over on the sidelines doing a little dance over there, trying to decide where they're going to mark this.
Tell you what,
now they're going to move the chains.
Love the Des Arc fans. They cheer as loud for a 4 or 5 yard gain as they do a 30-yard gain. They understand what kind of offense they run and how to get ahead of the chains, and they appreciate good football.
1st and 10. Des Arc moving the ball, 2 plays, and they get a first down. 5 on the play clock. They may have to call timeout. They got to hurry. 1. They get it off. They go to Kirby again. Not quite as many yards this time, only 2.
Yeah, lucky to get that one off. Coach Pascal was ready to call timeout. He was standing right in the official's ear and even signaled for the timeout, but luckily his quarterback Morton just gets the handoff before the play clock expired.
Harrison on the tackle. You've called his name several times tonight. 3 straight plays right up the gut from Des Arc. We heard from Coach Rogers the outside was hurting Fordyce, and they were going to make some adjustments, and you thought, well, maybe that opens up the middle. Morton keeps it, and then it's going nowhere.
Yeah, nice job by Merritt and Brown there to collapse on the quarterback, not even allow him the option to pitch the football. Got outside leverage, got on that pitch hand of the quarterback, bottled him up, and dropped him for a loss.
Took away the pitch that time. He had no opportunity. Looking back, he may have wished he had just given it to the big Kirby at fullback up the middle and get what he could. So he lose those 2 yards they gained on first down. It'll be 3rd and 10. Morton fakes it to Kirby. He pitches it outside. Fordyce has that covered up. They had the quarterback covered. They had the running back covered. They did an excellent job on defense.
Yeah, Montrell Neal, the strong safety, comes up, makes the play in the backfield, and that was the adjustment the coach was talking about, Coach Rogers, right before the half. Got to get out there, that pitch man, and their man Neal gets out there and makes a great play in the backfield, and it's going to force Des Arc to send out the punt unit.
Defenses owning the 3rd quarter so far. Des Arc with an interception. Now Fordyce forces the punt. Ball's at the 40. See Cross lining up about the 31-yard line. Here's the punt. It's a line drive, trying to keep it away from Cross. Very smart move. Gets a good bounce for Des Arc. He'll bounce at the 30-yard line. So about a 30-yard punt there for Des Arc. More importantly, they didn't let Cross return it.
That's right. So these, like you mentioned, these defenses have done their job. Halfway home in this 3rd quarter, thereabouts. That's not really my strong point. I don't know what half of 12 is.
6.
So I was off. What you're telling me.
Minute 15 seconds.
Either way, I'm going to bet we see Cross. I bet we see a little Lewis here. And the ground and pound has worked for Fordyce. They got away from it with the trick play. They turned the football over, expecting to go back to that bread and butter and run the football.
Cross is back there in the backfield. Lewis, I see Lewis.
We'll line up in the wing tee.
We're going to give it to Lewis. Big man up the middle, had a little room to run. Picks up 6 on first down.
Yep. You almost feel like Fordyce could get 5, 6, 7 yards up the middle anytime they want it. And so the question is, how many times do they go to that play, and can they just stay patient? Stay patient. That's a good word for it. Can they stay patient and take those 6, 7 yards and not feel like you have to hit the big play?
With a 2-possession lead, I feel like you can be a little patient. I wonder if that doesn't help Coach Rogers and his staff a little bit, knowing that, look, we're okay right now. Clock is on our side. We're going to give it to Rogers again. Rogers almost breaks the leg tackle. If he does, he's gone. He picks up the first down, though, moves the ball to the 45.
Yeah, just the fullback trap, a simple play for Lewis. You know, he's been their leading rusher for the most part tonight, at least as far as the attempts, doing a nice job and staying patient, staying methodical as Fordyce as they move the ball up to the 45.
Cooper Childers with the big tackle. He saved a touchdown there. Ball's on the right hash mark, and Fordyce huddled up over in the middle of the field, so they got to come down here. Brown fakes the handoff to the big man, and Cross gets free. Cross stumbles, but he regains his footing. 10-5, touchdown Cross. 55 yards on the play. Fordyce with the big momentum-stealing touchdown.
Yeah, nice job by Cross. Breaks through the first initial arm tackle as we see the replay. Oh, it's going to take more than an arm to take down Cross. Able to stay on his feet and 55 yards to the house, and that's that 1,000-yard mark that we were talking about. Believe he just hit it.
161 yards rushing on the night. So, yep, that puts him over 1,000 yards. Congratulations to Jaquez Cross. Extra point attempt is good. So Fordyce takes a 28-12 lead over Des Arc. You're listening and watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
John's Honda, your hometown dealer for sales and service of Honda motorcycles, ATVs, Honda generators, and Honda lawnmowers. Family owned and operated since 1967, John's Honda offers factory-certified technicians and experienced sales staff.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Redbugs expand their lead in the 2A title game, 28-12. They lead Des Arc. Getting ready for the kickoff from Fordyce. That was a huge play. You know, I go back to my math. It's still a 16-point game. For Des Arc, the key, not only score a touchdown, they got to get that two-point conversion to keep it within 8, make it a one-possession game. That makes all the difference in this game.
And according to your math, this is just the halfway point of this third quarter as well. So there's still a lot of action left. You know, a quarter and a half, plenty of time for Des Arc to get back into it. They've got to convert here and got to get some stops on defense.
On drive kick fielded by Ian Holloway. Holloway spins down at the 39-yard line. So that's where the Des Arc Eagles will take over after a 22-yard return.
Holloway's done a nice job on the return team tonight. Doesn't look like a lot of blockings there, but able to run through a few tackles. And the Eagles have had relatively solid starting position for most of the evening.
Big drive for Luke Morton and the Eagles. Holloway, Reed, Kirby need to make something happen here. Take a look at the total yards. We were pretty close at halftime, but Fordyce has pretty much owned the third quarter.
Yeah, a lot of confusion here for Des Arc. They're going to have to hurry to get this play off.
3 seconds on the play clock. They get it off. They give it to Kirby up the middle. Finding a little bit more success up the middle in the second half than they did in the first half.
It's just good fundamental football from Fordyce's defense up the interior. It's not glamorous. It's not pretty. A lot of times you don't get your name in the paper, don't get your name mentioned on TV, but those big defensive tackles chewing things up. And 65, Tristan Thrower cleans it up and gets the stop.
4-yard gain on first down. Des Arc huddling up this time. 2nd and 6. Morton pitches it back to Reed. Reed tries to go over the right side, but nothing there.
And try the misdirection, a reverse out of that double wing. And Reed just swallowed up. Nice job by the Fordyce defense to stay at home. They've been great as far as the fundamentals. You know, a couple times they've given up that pitch relationship and given up a big play in the option. But that job, nice time to staying at home and forcing it back to the inside.
See the discipline from Fordyce to stay at home once again. They had all the motion going to the left towards the press box, the lower side of your screen. And that misdirection takes it back to the right. But Fordyce stayed home. They were there. And that wasn't just one player. There were 3 players there to make the tackle.
A little equipment issue there for Fordyce. That's why the clock was stopped.
3rd and 6. Morton going to pitch it late. Trying to get to the outside, just tripped up. Holloway may have, I don't know if someone got a hand on his foot or if the turf monster got him, but he couldn't make it to the outside, and they're going to be short, bringing up 4th and 4.
Yeah, there are some white jerseys out there for Fordyce. Would have been tough to pick up the first down had he been able to keep his footing. So that's more of that, what Coach Rogers was talking about, staying out there with the pitch man on the option. And it looks like Desark's going to go for it.
It was the turf monster that got him, but
they're undefeated.
You got Cross was right there to make the tackle. Morton's looking to throw. He's trying to get to the outside, being chased. Morton to the outside, throws it, and it is caught. Completed for Desark. There you go, your first completion of the game.
Jacob Dodson on the long crosser. And finally comes open, and Morton hits him. Sliding receiver and a big 4th down conversion.
Gain of 13 yards for Desark. We've seen Dodson pick off a pass at his cornerback position, and now he hauls in a big 1st down reception.
That's a crucial 1st down for Desark. You got to keep your defense on the sideline for a bit, even though most of them play offense as well. Just get a little confidence going and keep your offense out there.
And you got to get a score. Kirby, no, they fake it to Kirby. They pitch it out to Holloway. Holloway gets nothing. That was Jaquez Cross.
Yeah, you see how quickly Cross and the defensive backs for Fordyce are flying up for that option pitch. That's the adjustment that Coach Rogers made at the half. And that's what Desark was trying to take advantage of and go to the passing game, but that time it didn't work.
You wonder if they tried as an injured Fordyce player comes off the field. That was Ross Smead, senior for Fordyce. So 2nd and 10 after the injury timeout. I wonder if the safety's coming in and helping on that outside, at some point they don't go to the air, try to go to the air one more time. Well, I called it, and there it is. Wide open wide receiver. It's caught at the 24-yard line, brought down at the 23, Travion Reed.
It's a great call by US right there. You knew that the safety's coming up there, have to go play action, and that time Reed was wide open, and Morton able to hit his wide open target, and just like that, Desark's knocking on the door of the red zone.
Pretty nice throw there from Luke Morton. That was more like the throws I saw in pregame warm-ups. Confidently threw that ball.
Yeah, this is a team that threw the ball just 25 times in their first 10, 11, 12 games for Desark. They're not a team that's going to throw it a ton, but at least that time they're able to take advantage of the passing game.
Well, now that's 4 pass attempts from Luke Morton. Of course, you had the halfback pass that resulted in the interception, so 5 tosses. Kirby up the middle. You see a little bit more success up the middle. Pound away, pound away, pound away. Gary Lewis makes the tackle, but first he picked up 6 yards.
It's starting to loosen things up in the middle. That's what the option does. That's what the passing game does. You know, when the flex bone or the wing tee or these run-oriented offenses that you see with Desark or Lake Hamilton from last weekend, all these plays are really predicated on success from your other plays, opening up space.
2nd and 4. The ball is on the 16-yard line. Morton keeps it and pitches it very late, and what a great pitch to Reed. Reed has the 1st down. He's inside the 5-yard line, down at the 4.
Most calls, most coaches, players would say that's a dangerous pitch, but what we've seen from Morton tonight's been really impressive how late he's willing to pitch the football, and the option as a Fordyce player is slow to get up. But a really impressive play by Desark, and now they've got a 1st and goal from inside the 5.
Looks like there are multiple players down on the field. One of them is Montrell Neal, the cornerback. Also down on the field is Joshua Harrington, big defensive lineman. Harrington's made a lot of plays. You've called his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, it'd be a big blow for this defense to take another look at the pitch. And just a nice job by Neal. Excuse me.
They took each other out. When you're looking at the replay. They were going in to tackle the running back and basically hit each other face up.
Yeah, good to see both of them able to walk off the field under their own power. Hopefully they can get back in this contest. But they are going to be out for at least one play. And 54 Harrington's made a lot of big stops for this Fordyce defense. So we'll see if Desert can take advantage of 54 being off the field for at least one snap.
Harrington was pointing to his left shoulder, patting it. First and goal, ball on the 4. Getting to 1:15 to play in the third quarter. Morton to the big man up the middle, Kirby. Kirby had a hole, but that thing closed quickly. He picked up 2 yards. Trey Merritt makes the tackle.
Yep, Gary Lewis right there with him. I mean, it looked like he was going to have a walk-in touchdown, and you mentioned it, Wes. That hole closed really quickly as Merritt and Neal Merritt and Lewis able to converge and make the stop.
Second and goal. They're inside the 3. Let's call it 2.5. Morton pitches it late, cuts it up, touchdown, Desart. What a great cut by Ian Holloway.
It's a great pitch, and you mentioned it there. A great cut. A lot of times that play is built to go to the outside, try to reach to the numbers, put his foot in the ground, able to cut up, walk in, score for Des Arc.
I thought he was going to take it outside, and I thought he had a chance to score on the outside, but he cut it hard right up the middle off that tackle and walks in for the touchdown. And now a very important 2-point conversion. Your score is 28-18. You get the 2 here. You're only down 8. 2-point conversion, a touchdown ties it up.
They've tried to run it up the middle on their previous 2-point attempts.
Morton is going to pitch it, pitches it late. Here comes Reed. Reed in for the score. 2-point conversion is good. Travion Reed makes it an 8-point game, 28-20.
That was set up by the previous 2-point attempts. They went fullback, 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 and that time you fake it and you run the option, a late pitch again, and all it is speed there, and Trevion Reed gets to the outside in a 2-point conversion, and all of a sudden we have a 1-possession game again.
Great block from the wide receiver out wide. That triggers the run and gets Reed into the end zone. And what that does is gives a little life to that Des Arc sideline. They know it's a 1-possession game. Yep. We just did this. We just went down, scored a touchdown, and got a 2-point conversion. We do that one more time. Tie game.
Yeah, but when you have a good team and you tell them, hey, it's going to be a 1-possession game going to the fourth quarter, you're going to take that essentially every time. And here we are 33 seconds away from that happening here in this 2A championship.
Don't forget, Des Arc, don't kick an onside kick here. Merritt's recovered most of them. Here it comes right to Merritt. Merritt's got it again.
Yep, you're going to have to find somebody else to kick it at. He's been undefeated tonight. And Merritt deserves a lot of credit. So if you're Des Arc, find somebody other than 22 to pick on.
I watched some of those online specials on Pulaski Academy football last year on last year's state championship run. And he would talk to his kickers and say, hey, you got to find somebody else to kick to. He's recovered every single one of them. Yep. Quit kicking it to him.
That's what happened in 2018 when they lost in the state championship game. Little Rock Christian recovered every onside kick and is about the same player. Not so much success today for Christian. That's why PA ran away with it. But Fordyce doing a great job tonight on special teams.
All right, let's see if Fordyce can respond. They know they need to get some points.
And they're missing an offensive lineman out there. They'll never have to burn the timeout.
They do burn the timeout.
No offensive tackle or guard on the right side of that offensive front for Fordyce. And a little confusion there. And
I wonder if that comes from the Harrington injury.
Mm-hmm. He was back out there for the last couple plays of the drive and the 2-point conversion, but might have taken himself out of the offensive side. So Fordyce has to burn a timeout and figure out what's going on the offensive line.
Fordyce slowly walks over to the sideline. There's a lot more pep in the step on the Des Arc side right now. And they kind of sprinted over to their coach. They're all huddled up. And So a little momentum right now for Des Arc.
Yeah, there's a lot of ebbs and flows in a high school football game, and we've seen it. Uncle Mo, the momentum change sides a handful of times already here tonight. Right now it's with Des Arc, and we'll see if their defense can get a stop after this timeout, because if they can get the stop and get the football back with their offense with a chance to score and tie the game, the crowd closest to us, the home side, could really get into it.
Total yards in the game right now, Fordyce leads with 289. Fordyce has a 60-yard lead over Des Arc, 229 total yards. Yeah. Come the Red Bugs now. Looks like they have all their offensive linemen. I think they got that figured out.
Fordyce has flipped the strong side of their line for most of the night.
Got Jaquez Cross lined up deep. Gary Lewis is there. Gary Lewis has it. Kind of picking his way, trying to find a hole. He'll pick up 2.
Yeah, the hole wasn't there like it was in the first half for the fullback. The quarterback reverses out, and Lewis has been able to run free, but not that time. Had to get out of the way of his own offensive lineman, and Des Arc's defense able to stack him up and drop him for after a pickup of 2.
Matt Kirby on the tackle. We've talked a lot about Jack Kirby, and that was Matt making the tackle. Fordyce taking their time. They may be calling another timeout.
Yeah, they're walking to the sideline.
Oh, no, it's the end of the quarter. I'm sorry. I thought, what are they doing? That's the end of the third quarter. We got 12 more minutes to go in this 2A state title game. Fordyce leading it 28-20. Stick around. We got a good one going here. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? We need a Christmas tree. A great, big, shiny aluminum Christmas tree. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown!
Tomorrow night at 6:30.
We have a one-possession game in the 2A state title between Des Arc and Fordyce. Des Arc just scored, got the 2-point conversion to get within 8. Fordyce with the ball. They face a 2nd and 8. Toss out to Cross. Cross, the dangerous Purdue commit, gets the ball inside the 45, down to the 44. Matt Kirby with the tackle again.
Arkansas PBS offers all the football games and more on demand starting next week. Just go to youtube.com/Arkansas PBS. It's a big 3rd and potentially 4th down coming up for this Des Arc defense.
Cross with 166 yards rushing now, 11 carries. He's lined up deep in the backfield. He's got Gary Lewis in front of him, and that's who has it. Gary Lewis fighting his way close to a 1st down. The official down at the bottom marking it. I think he's going to give it to him. It's going to be close. He's marking it with the right foot. And he's got it.
Well, we're going to give it to him.
I was eyeing it and using my eyes here down the line, and I thought it was really close.
Yeah, we're looking right down the line. I thought it was close. Thought they might measure it, but they didn't want to make the trip across the field.
He's got a better look at it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he's about 60 yards closer. Brown with his 2 big backs, and plays blown dead.
They're gonna
false start.
I think they're going to say Fordyce actually lined up off sides, which in high school was immediately blown dead.
That's a costly penalty. You just got a first down. Back them up.
Procedure on Fordyce, 5 yards.
That'll move it back to the 46-yard line.
Might have been the tight end, Merritt. I'd have to get another look at that one. Didn't look like it was too egregious. Either one.
The Des Arc band playing. Their fans, many of them on their feet right now. They know they need to get the ball back. Can't allow Fordyce to score. Cross going over the right side. He's got room to run. Look at the speed from him. The ball is loose. Cross picks it back up. He's in. Dribbled it to himself and scores from 46 yards out.
There's about only one way you can describe that one, and that is a holy shamoly type play. Cross essentially bounces it to himself and goes in for another touchdown.
We saw Felipe Franks do that earlier this season, and Cross, yeah, they did hit the ball. He kind of knocked it out with his thigh pads and then bounced right back up to him. You know, sometimes you got to be lucky.
Better be lucky than good, and Cross will certainly take it, and that's a big touchdown for the Redbugs.
Extra point, snap, hold, kick is good. So Fordyce has 35 points. Des Arc 20, 15 behind. We'll see what Des Arc can do when we come back. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. With our busy lives today, we often forget the greatest gift of Christmas. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. I hope all of us will take the time and share the love of Christ this season. May your holidays be filled with joy and blessings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Everett.
Big answer from the Redbugs. Fordyce gets another big play from Jaquez Cross, the Purdue transfer, now with 212 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns on just 12 carries. He's averaging 17.7 yards per game, or per carry.
Yeah, you can see how dangerous Cross is when he gets the football in his hands, or even when he bounces it as the football comes off the tee. You know, sometimes I want to check on Troy just to see if he's alive. Troy, are you alive? Can you confirm?
Still wishing I brought a jacket. But, you know, I actually just had a quick conversation with Jaquez Cross over there. I asked him, hey, man, what happened on that play? Why'd you fumble the ball? And he goes, I saw the end zone and I got careless, and that's why he lost the ball. But he says, it might be worth it because he might end up on SportsCenter tonight, guys.
Give a little, take a little.
Oopsie. He got it. All's well that ends well. Des Arc with the 7-yard return. They'll take over at the 29-yard line.
They've done it a handful of times already tonight, Wes. Now Des Arc's offense got to come back with another answer drive. And at some point, their defense is going to have to get a stop. But rely on the offense here to continue to give yourself a chance, extend the game, try to find a way to back into the end zone.
Try to be patient. Just keep pounding away, chipping away, chipping away. Watch those safeties, see if they creep down, and maybe get a little play action. Got a receiver in motion. They start with Kirby up the middle. Kirby gets it close to the 35-yard line. He picks up 5 on first down.
Staying in front of the chains, and you give a lot of credit to the Kirby offense. They're not getting away from what they do. They may pick up the pace a little bit, go a little quicker, but they're going fullback dive, and then pull it and go the option. I mean, that's their bread and butter. That's what they do.
Under 10 minutes to play. Morton, late pitch, and they got room to run again. That's Holloway again to the outside. Holloway close to the 50, and we got a flag. I think this will probably come back.
It's been a pretty clean game on both sides of the football as far as action penalties. Not a lot of holds, not a block in the back, not many face masks. We'll have to wait and see what the laundry's about here. As it stands, it would be a pickup of almost 20, it looks like. But
costly penalty if it is on Des Arc. They've only had one penalty tonight, one penalty for 5 yards.
That was on the very first play of the game.
Yep.
Got a hold on Des Arc, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay second down.
This man may be my favorite official of the weekend.
So that'll wipe out a big run from Holloway. It basically goes back to the line of scrimmage where they were. It was 2nd and 5, and they picked up what you said, 20, and that happened about 10 yards into the play. So they go back to pretty much where they were.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Des Arc. You think you get a big play, and all of a sudden you're back where you started.
Morton pitches it late again, trying to get outside, and he does. Reed gets the corner. He's got some speed. He's got a blocker to the 30, 25, 20. Being chased from behind. Reed dragged down at the 1. We do have flags.
3 flags.
2, 3 flags.
It's hard to argue with 3 flags. 1, you can probably complain about. 2, okay, it's an iffy call. 3, this one's going to come all the way back, and the Des Arc fans do not like it.
62-yard run. Looks like it's coming back.
It's a big, big play. 1 flag's at the 50, 1's at the 40, 1's somewhere in between.
They've already picked up 1.
That's back-to-back plays for Des Arc's offense. So it's going to be negated because of the Hankies.
Got a hold on Des Arc, 10 yards from spot of the foul. Replay second down.
Coach Pascal not happy. He's walking out there to maybe assist him with picking up his flag.
Yeah.
Now he's patting him on the shoulder, but
guarantee he's not saying, hey, that was a great call. What a big play, though, in the option game. Reed breaks a couple tackles, breaks 1, gets down inside the 5, but now Des Arc, instead of getting an 80, 70-yard run, and now they lose 2 yards on that.
2 yards, 2nd and 7, let's call it.
And more importantly, on those last 2 plays after the big gains, they're losing that clock time. You're down by 15 in the 4th quarter. You've lost almost a minute now on these last 2 plays.
It was a huge momentum play, too. This sideline was going crazy. Morton pitches again. They're going to try the same play again. Reed has it. He has the first down. He's out of bounds at the 45. Instead of going 60 yards that time, it only goes for about 14.
That time is Braden Pickrell, number 15, the senior, out in front, the lead blocker. Des Arc's receivers have done a great job of blocking downfield. We've mentioned Dobson a handful of times. That time Pickrell out in front and leading the way and moving the sticks.
I was watching Pickrell's hands. He was being very careful there after back-to-back holding calls on his team. He was going to make sure it wasn't 3 in a row. So 1st and 10, ball on the 46-yard line. Right up the middle, Kirby spinning to the 50, picks up 4. Gary Lewis on the tackle.
Yeah, it's just kind of testing you, making sure you're staying at home fundamentally sound. You've gone outside 3 straight times, come back in the middle. But again, Fordyce's defense stays at home, and Gary Lewis grabs him by a leg and able to get him on the turf.
Timeout. Play is being stopped. Timeout, Fordyce. Redbugs coaches didn't like something they saw.
Yeah. See Des Arc starting to get a little confidence, starting to move the ball here. And obviously those big plays take a toll on you, especially on the defensive side. You're trying to chase down the football from behind. Now just 1 timeout left for Fordyce, but Des Arc's got the football. They're on the move. But the biggest question is, can they capitalize? Can they take advantage and put some points on the board?
Des Arc's had the ball offensively for 27-51, almost 28 minutes.
Wow.
Fordyce, 11 minutes and 37 seconds. Now, a lot of that's the big play.
Yep.
You know, their touchdowns have all pretty much been big runs from either Cross or from Lewis.
Yeah, 55-yard touchdown run, 43 yards, 41 yards, and the last one was, upwards of 60. So
I want to head down and check in with Troy Lynch. Troy, you're seeing these guys down on the field. Is there any kind of difference in size between Des Arc and Fordyce?
There's a big difference, guys. I've been kind of going back and forth on each sideline, and I can tell you one thing. Being on Fordyce's sideline, I feel small. I'm 6'1", and those guys are pretty big. Over here on the Des Arc sideline, I feel a little bit on the taller side. So there's obviously a big difference there. And I was talking with head coach of Des Arc, BJ Pascal, and he told me, yeah, just look at them. They're obviously bigger than us, a little bit faster, and they have more numbers. So it's playing a factor in tonight's game, guys.
Morton to pass, and he's got a receiver. He's got him open at the 20, inside the 20. Ian Holloway brings it down, 30-yard gain. That's the big play Des Arc needed. No flags this time.
Haven't gone to the passing game too many times all season, but here in the championship game, sometimes you've got to get out of your comfort zone. And Morton with a perfect strike to a wide-open Holloway, and they're set up inside the red zone.
1st and 10, ball on the 18. Coming up on about 8 minutes to play in this game. Ball is on the ground. That time Morton's late toss did not find the running back. Finally come. There's been a couple of times I've been like, ooh, that's a late pitch. That's a little.
That one looked like it went over a defender there. But nice job by Trevian Reed to just get his hands on the football and prevent disaster, because you'll take a 2-yard loss compared to a turnover any day.
Neal makes the play for the Red Bugs. 2nd and 12. Ball's on the 20. They're going to try the middle with Kirby. Kirby fighting forward. He gets it to about the 17-yard line. Let's pick up a 3 before Tristan Thrower throws him to the ground.
See what you did there.
Uh-huh.
Obviously going to be 4-down territory here for Des Arc. So don't be completely fooled if they go full back up the middle again. They've had so much success with Reed on the outside. They've been balanced all season.
I see Reed lined up. He's coming in motion. They go the other way with it. Now Morton's reversing field, and he's going to throw it. He throws it into a crowd, and it's knocked down. Fordyce had a chance to pick it off. That was Merritt there, but he's unable to catch it. So it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, had to turn from a receiver to a defender there to prevent Merritt from catching the football. And again, kind of on an odd play, Fordyce defense stays at home, and Reed did a nice job of breaking that play up.
Fordyce has got one of those defenses that you start counting the guys on the field. You're like, how many are they playing with? Because that time they were trying to take it to the left, and Morton was covered. He was going to pitch it, but there was the defender with his running back. He had nothing, so he reverses field. He sees his receiver running, thinks, well, surely everybody's over here on me, and he throws it, and there's 2 guys on that receiver.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it a handful of times already, but you've got to give a lot of credit just to the fundamentally sound defense for both of these squads, just staying at home, not falling for the trick play, not getting out of position when they reverse field as Des Arc takes a timeout here. It's just really fundamentally sound defense on both sides, but can Fordyce get a 4th down stop, which they haven't been able to do tonight? Des Arc's a perfect 4 for 4 when they get that 4th try.
It is 4th down and 9. And you look at the 4th down conversions. Well, both teams are perfect. Red Bugs are 1 for 1, while Fordyce is 4 for 4. It's a little funny that Des Arc's 2 for 10 on 3rd down, but 4 for 4 on 4th down.
So I guess that counteracts a little bit when you know you're going for it on 4th down, but a lot of times you see 3rd down numbers like that, you're not going to be too successful, but 4 for 4 on 4th down will help clean up a lot of mistakes.
The ball is on the 17. Looks like they need to get it right around the 8. Morton's going back to pass. Now he's scrambling out to his left. He's looking, throwing, getting towards the end zone. It's caught. It's caught at the 2-yard line. Another 4th down conversion for Des Arc.
Dobson on the long over route, and Morton was just waiting for his receiver. He had all day to throw it, and Dobson finally came into his vision. The airs went out. A lot of air under that football allows Dobson to run underneath it, and it's 1st and goal as there's pandemonium next door.
15 yards on the catch.
5 for 5 now on 4th down are the Eagles.
Handoff up the middle to Kirby. Kirby is in. Touchdown, Des Arc.
Kirby,
they're not done.
They're not done, and he's been the workhorse all night long, just pushing against that boulder, and finally breaks through for the touchdown. Kirby, 19 carries now for 52 yards, and that touchdown. And I guess it goes without stating, this is a huge 2-point conversion attempt that's going to make it a 1-score game.
(26-35), down 9, must get. Here they go. Pitch late, and the pitch is fumbled. Ball's loose. Now it's a jailbreak. Nothing there. Great job by the Fordyce Redbugs defense there.
That was the same play they scored on the last 2-point conversion. Nice job by Fordyce to make the adjustment and shut that one down and make sure their lead stays at 2 possessions.
26-35, 9-point lead for Fordyce. Now, remember, Des Arc's going to try an onside kick. They've tried one just about, but they've been unsuccessful. Yep. But they still have an opportunity to get that onside kick. Jacob Dodson, 2 catches, 27 yards now. Long of 15 there, so 2 big catches for Jacob Dobson. I was looking at the stats. I didn't even write his name down for the wide receivers or for catches. Not that I wrote down many names for catches for wide receivers, but I've got him for 60 receiving yards coming into this game.
That was tied for this team high for the entire season.
It is.
60 yards.
Yep.
And if you're Des Arc here, try to avoid 22 Merritt.
Don't think it ever went 10 yards.
Yep. To try to get it away from Merritt, that one doesn't go 10 yards. So it's going to be great field position for Fordyce.
And discipline once again. Some teams want to attack the ball. They saw it hadn't gone 10 yards yet. No reason to even touch it, and it goes out of bounds. So Fordyce will take over.
Fans, if you're looking for the stats, just download the Arkansas PBS Engage app to get all the numbers while the game's in action.
6.5 minutes, a little less than 6.5 minutes for Fordyce to claim their 2nd straight state championship.
Now, if you're Des Arc, you got to rely on your defense. You need to stop, need a quick stop. And I think it goes without saying you've got to avoid the big play. That's been the thorn in their side all night long.
Got to get a 3 and out here, or 4 and out if Fordyce goes for it. You got Cross in the backfield. Seen a lot of this formation with Cross and Lewis. Cross with it over the right side. He picks up 4, and there's a flag on the play. No, maybe a face mask or a hold, but the sideline official dropped his flag at the 43-yard line. Travion Reed with the tackle.
Yeah, if you're Des Arc, you've got to be, gouging at the football, do everything you can to get the ball out after your first defender stacks up the runner. A lot of times they get a little too handsy, hands to the face, maybe a face mask. But obviously we got to see what they're discussing.
Got a personal foul, face mask, 15 yards, first down.
Yeah. Well, the timing on that flag made me wonder if it wasn't a face mask, because it wasn't a pre-snap. He was walking, trying to spot the ball, and just kind of dropped his penalty flag right there. Let's see if we can see something.
Yeah, it could be something underneath there. Yeah, 52 there for Des Arc. Got his hands, well, it's right around the football, more so than the helmet. Maybe something that was shielded by bodies. Really couldn't see it from that replay.
Not from my angle. He had a better angle on that far sideline. So the Fordyce will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line, taking their time. We got about 5 seconds on the play clock. Turning around, looking at the play clock. Cross picks up about 5 yards.
Yeah, this is when the game within the game. Not many times do you see teams that really try to bleed it out. And so now Fordyce is going to try to use every bit of that 40-second play clock. Try to shorten this game as much as possible with a 2-possession lead.
I don't know if Brown, the quarterback, saw the play clock up
on
high.
his end.
Oh, yeah. He had turned around, and I thought he was looking at the Des Arc bench, and then I looked, and he was looking at the scoreboard. He was looking for the play clock. He's got another play clock right in front of him, but all the way up at the top of the stadium. You see him there. He was turned around looking for the play clock. 5 seconds to go, milking it all. You're going to hand it off to Cross over the right side. Cross tripped up at the first down marker. Right when it looked like he was about to fire away and score another touchdown, Jack Kirby pulls him down.
Another first down for Fordyce. They can pick up another one without scoring a touchdown, and that one's a backbreaker. Now, if you're Des Arc, you really got to be jabbing at the football and try to do everything you can to get it out.
I love how Brown is watching that play clock and trying to use it all. Sometimes you see quarterbacks, they'll snap it with 5, 6, 7 seconds left, and you're like, no, take your time. Now he sees the play clock in front of him. He snaps it with 2 seconds to go, hands it off to Gary Lewis, the first back through. Des Arc stuffs that one up.
Yeah, Des Arc's done a nice job, really, since the last play of the first half and here in the second half of shutting down the fullback run game. They haven't been able to bottle up Cross as much, but they've held Lewis in check over this past quarter and a half or so.
Lewis picks up a 1 yard on the play. That'll give him 108 yards rushing on the night. 11 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got a long of 43. He and Cross have combined for 335 yards rushing.
Yeah, he didn't get the flashy yards. He does have to do touchdown runs tonight. He's not going to get the headlines like Cross, but he's done a great job and a big reason why Fordyce is 4 minutes away from a title.
Toss it out to Cross. Cross pulled down. I thought Cross had some room to run outside, but Ian Holloway drags him down. Really good tackle from Holloway. That saved a touchdown. I really thought he was going to get out to the outside and score.
Yeah, great job of Holloway to avoid the block by Lewis. You know, gets around the blocker there and hits Cross right around the midsection and rides him down.
Yeah, Lewis is looking at him like, I thought you were going the other way. I was blocking him this way. And he was able to get inside of him. 3rd and 11 for Fordyce. Really, they're just worried about milking this clock now as we get close to 3 minutes to play, and they've got a 2-possession lead. They're going to give it to Cross over the right side, and Cross is tackled at the 10, giving him 2 yards on the play.
So the Des Arc defense has done their job on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down here. Now it'll be a 4th and 8 situation. We're under 3 minutes left, and obviously this play is the only one that matters, but you can get a stop here, and you still have a chance.
Up 9, I don't see really much of a benefit of kicking a field goal, and it would still be a 2-point or 2-possession game.
Yeah, especially knowing that the team across the field does not kick field goals.
Yes. Fordyce has 1 timeout left, and the way they're talking over there, I think they're going to call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock, and then they're going to run a 4th down play. There's your timeout. So we'll have 4th and 8 with 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Now Fordyce hasn't attempted a pass since the halfback pass went awry on the opening possession of this second half, and I'm not sure they've thrown more than 5 or 6 this entire game. We may have to see the Redbugs go to the air here if they want to convert a 4th down.
Jaheim Brown is 1 for 4 on the game. He's got 1 completion for 7 yards. And Jaquez Cross, of course, threw that halfback pass that was intercepted.
I don't have the play-by-play for the entire contest, but I believe that 7-yard completion came back at least on the first drive of the game, if not the first scoring drive for Fordyce. So way back in the first quarter, I know. If you want a copy of this state championship game, just go to mnmproductions.net to place your order.
Redbugs are breaking their huddle. They're coming back out on the field. Fordyce knows what's in front of them. They got to get the turnover here on downs, and they got to get a big play. And they got to score a touchdown, get the onside kick, and score again. As unlikely as it sounds, I can tell you I watched it happen just a week ago down in Prescott when McGee scored twice in the last minute 47 of the game. Brown's going to keep it. He's running backwards. He's going to pass it to Cross, who's open, but he overthrows him. It was just a jailbreak play. scrambling around. He had cross open for a second, but give Des Arc credit. They came and was able to put a little pressure, Jack Kirby there, to force the turnover on downs.
It's not going to show up on any stat sheet, but the play of number 13, Devontae Holmes on the back end there, able to pull up, does not deliver a blow to cross. You don't know if he's going to catch the football or not. Watch it right here. He pulls up, doesn't hit the receiver, easily could have got a defenseless receiver penalty there, pulls off. Now the offense has got the football back.
And he knows who that is.
Exactly.
That's a D1 player, right? Hit kid's going to Purdue. Everybody's been talking about him. I can light him up right here.
Yep.
Smart play.
Yeah, great play there.
Des Arc takes over at their own 10. They got to go 90 yards quickly. They need a big play, chunk play. Pitch it out wide, trying to get to the outside. You got a couple of red bugs there, and they push him out of bounds at the 10. No gain on the play for Holloway.
And great job by Mantrell Neal to stretch that one out and use the sideline as another defender. They've done a great job for the most part in the second half against the option.
And that was Reed on the carry, not Holloway. And you see Neal push him out of bounds right at the 10. They'll give him the 11, so he gets a yard on the play. But they need a lot more than that. It does stop the clock with 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Des Arc in desperate need of a huge play.
And down to 8 on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry to get this one off.
2 seconds left, 1 second. They get it off. Morton back to pass. He's got time to throw. Now he scrambles back to his right. He's looking, and there's just nobody open. He tucks it and runs out of bounds. Smart play to run out of bounds. Picked up about 3 yards on the play. I was scanning the field because sometimes you can see something from up here that he can't see. He wasn't missing anything.
Great coverage in the back end by Fordyce. When you've got that much time to throw, a lot of times you're going to see a receiver come open late, but no holes in the Redbug defense, and now it's going to be third and medium-ish for the Eagles. Emphasis on the ish.
They have to get the ball to the 20. So then they need 6. 3rd and 6. Morton keeps it. He tucks it up, gets the ball to the 24, or 19, I'm sorry. He's a yard short. It'll be 4th and 1. Tristan Thrower with the tackle. That was a smart play by Morton.
Yep.
The running back, there was just nothing there.
Yep.
If you watch the replay here, instead of pitching it, he just gets what he can.
That's what you're supposed to do as a quarterback. They take away your pitch, keep it yourself. Look for the fullback here.
Got to have, must have play here. And they give it to Kirby, the big man up the middle, his biggest run of the night. Kirby finally brought down by his face mask. You can tack on 15 more yards. That's a carry of 20 yards plus 15 for the face mask. So that's a chunk play. They need more of those.
Yeah, that's by far the biggest run up the middle. 4th and short that you know it's going to go up the guts, and able to pop a big one.
Got a personal foul, face mask on Fordyce. That's 15 yards at the end of the run, first down.
So they'll mark it down at the 46-yard line.
Yep. As an offensive player, you can put your hand on a face mask as long as you don't grab it. Defensively, they'll call that one every time.
Whistles blowing the play dead. I was about to say the clock was ticking. So Fordyce, once they marked it and they had the chain set, they restarted the clock. They needed to be ready to go.
We're having a ruling from upstairs.
All right, let's take a look at this replay to see what they could be reviewing.
Well, normally you can't review anything but a touchdown or a turnover.
Inside 2 minutes, it opens up to more things that they can review. Not this play. We're talking about the play with the fullback.
The face mask.
Yep, they called a face mask penalty.
We'll have to kind of take a look and see what they're looking at. I mean, total net was 35 yards. 20 yards on the run, 15 on the face mask.
All right, here we go.
Not sure what they're looking at, but there's a quick review, and the call's coming out.
Please reset the game clock to 1:30. You'll start on the snap.
So it should stop. The clock should stop because of the penalty, and so that's probably why they buzzed it down, because the clock did tick off by 9 seconds.
I noticed it because I looked and I saw the clock was ticking, and I I was like, Desark's got to hurry here. That clock is down 9. They'd let 9 seconds go off.
So nice job by the replay crew and the official crew to get that right. Last thing we want is a clock issue here to the game. Obviously, anytime you bring that up, Bentonville, North Little Rock from 3 or 4 years ago is going to come to mind.
Desark needs every second they can get.
They do, absolutely.
They're going to bring a player way down to the right.
Desark trying to
looking back to throw. Nothing there. Now he's taking off. He's got some room up there if he can get a block. He cuts it upfield. He's coming back to this sideline. Luke Morton's run for about 55 yards, and he picks up 15.
It's kind of a trick play there. Desark was acting like there had too many men on the field, run a receiver off. He stopped at the sideline. That's when they snap it. But great coverage in the back end, and Morton has to be exhausted after running, as you mentioned, maybe 75 yards on that for a net of 15.
We need those fancy ESPN graphics that can count how many yards that he actually ran on that play. Ran to the right, up to the left, back to the right, up to the left, and then back finally to his right.
Hey, Derek Walter. Is that in our budget for next week?
He picks up the first down. Ball's on the 31. Pitches it out. They're looking to pass it.
Quarterback throwback.
There's nothing there. And now he's got blockers to his left. Needs one big block. He puts his head down and bulls over. Gets the first down. Clock will stop.
They're trying to set up the throwback there to the quarterback, Morton. But he was covered there, and Holloway did the rest. Just lowered the shoulder and picks up a first down inside the red zone.
That was the Jaquez Cross that took that big lick. But you know what? Fordyce is doing a great job of staying deep. There's nothing there, but what it's doing is opening up for them to run the ball. 50 seconds to go in the game. Morton pitches it out. He capped it, and he's finally dragged to the ground.
Desark's going to have to burn a timeout. That's the worst thing that can happen there, and you know Morton's got to be exhausted.
Gassed. He's just absolutely gassed. Gary Lewis drags him down.
That's a big loss. It's like a loss of 8.
Fordyce is doing a great job staying back. They're keeping their safeties deep, keeping everything in front of them. So there's just nothing there. They're trying to throw it. You know, they're not a throwing team, honestly, and so it's very difficult for them. But they're doing a great job of scrambling around and making something out of nothing.
Yeah, Desark, when they do throw the football, it's all based off of the play action, catching you off guard, trying to sneak a defender behind you. But instead, with dropping so many guys in coverage, there's not a lot of open passing lanes, and we've got a quarterback who's not used to throwing the football. That makes it tough.
And we have a quarterback with a dislocated left elbow. Yeah. If you go back to the shot of the Desark Eagles, I saw the coaches and staff working on that brace.
Yep.
When he was laying there on the ground, gassed, he may have been, I'm gassed, I know, but he may have been hurt a little bit after being tossed to the ground, and that left elbow all braced up, giving him some problems. But what a gutsy performance from Morton, not only this week, but last week, to lead them over Junction City to get to the state championship game. And you see him out here not only as a quarterback, but also playing defense for them. Just an incredible performance by this young man. 2nd and 19, the ball's on the 27, 41 seconds to go. Morton rolling out to his right. He's looking to throw. Got a receiver there, and there he is, Dobson again.
Great throw on the move there.
Well, perfect throw. 17-yard gain, so they're 2 yards away from the first down.
So it's going to be 3rd and 2. This is where, you know, Desark hasn't kicked an extra point today. They're not going to start right now. This is almost where if you had a kicker, you could trot him out there, save a little time, give you a little extra chance to recover an onside kick. They still do have one timeout now left for Desark.
Yeah, they got to score here, so even if they get the onside kick, they have time to do something. Throw into the end zone, just leads Dobson by about a yard.
Now it's 4th and 1. Really, every play in the playbook is going to be available for you because the clock is going to stop for a first down. So they had success with the fullback. Straight ahead on 4th and short last time.
Well, and Kirby had a big run, so it wouldn't surprise me. And didn't he score the 2-point conversion the last time? That was similar to this situation. It wouldn't surprise me if this goes to Kirby. Goes to Kirby, picks up the first down. The clock will stop. Now we got a flag.
Yeah,
so it will stop anyway.
Yeah, Morton was calling immediately for a face mask there, and a couple of Desark offensive linemen are pointing that direction as well.
That'll be half the distance to the goal.
Which would stop the clock, though, too, which would be huge.
They're marking it right now at the 7-yard line, so that'll put it on about the 3.5. I wonder if we oh, yeah, he kind of grabbed the top of the helmet and pulled him back. I don't know if he had any fingers in there.
It may be the same thing.
Nope. They're going to wave it off. Watch him. I see him grab his flag to wave it off.
There is no flag for face mask. Result of the play is first down.
A lot of times you see the head snap back like that. They're going to throw the flag either way. Nice job by the officials to get together amongst themselves and wave that one off.
Clock starts. They need to go. They never did start it. They handed off the middle. Kirby didn't get much that time. Now they call a timeout. Gary Lewis there, just kind of fitting. Gary Lewis has been making tackles all night long up the middle, and he does it again.
Yep, so Desert has to burn their last timeout of the game right here. Lewis just stays at home, and another form tackle. We'll have to see the final numbers when this one's wrapped up, but I bet he's close to double digits.
In this quarter?
Maybe in this quarter. Yeah.
He's had a heck of a ball game.
You better believe if 33 Kirby's gotten the football for Desark, number 4 for Fordyce, Gary Lewis hasn't been too far away from him.
2nd and 5, or 2nd and goal on the 5.
10 tackles, 11 tackles, 10 solo for Gary Lewis. Wow. So he's had a great day from his defensive line spot.
Oh, yeah, and he's run the ball for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's not going to get the MVP. We know who that's going to. It goes to the flashy player, but Gary Lewis is a big reason why Fordyce is 23 ticks away from going back-to-back.
You can give him your MVP. There's
going to get mine. Yeah, he's going to get mine. He's done the dirty work.
I like him down in the trenches, getting it done, and then they hand him the ball, and he can take it 40 yards for a touchdown. Dual threat guy right there. Morton looking to pass. He's looking to throw it back, but there was nobody there. Now he comes, and Dobson diving for it and can't get to it.
Yeah, the throwback, they've had a lot of success with that one tonight, Wes. And he had his man open, just could not connect on 2nd down.
18 seconds to go. Just really can't afford to run the ball and not get in.
That's right.
And then you wouldn't have any time left to even try your onside kick, or if you do get the onside kick, to run a crazy play to try to win the game. You're going to have to throw it in here and pick up something, get the touchdown here. Morton has a receiver go in motion, rolls to his left, looking back, throws it into traffic, and it caught. It was caught. I couldn't see it from up here until the referee put his hands up in the air. That's a touchdown.
Braden Pickrell somehow gets the football in his hands, and all of a sudden we got a 3-point game and maybe just enough time. There's 13 seconds left. Looks like the clock on the graphic stuck. A little bit, 13 seconds left here, and a 2-point conversion away here for Desark.
Pickrell gets the touchdown. It's a 3-point game. Morton rolls to his right. He's under pressure. Stays on his feet. Sees a receiver. Throws it into the ground. Just couldn't get his feet up underneath him to make a good throw.
Yeah, looked like he had Trevian Reed there. The two could not connect. But either way, now we're still an onside kick. You know, whether they recover that or got that 2-point conversion or not, they're still going to have to recover this onside kick. And they're 0 for 4, 0 for 5 tonight. So maybe the odds are their favor. And we've seen it, though. They've got a forward number 22, Trey Merritt.
See a couple of the Desark guys already lining up for this onside kick. They know how important this is. This is it. This is the ball game. You recover it somewhere, hopefully around the 50-yard line. You get a chance to run 1 or 2 plays. Yep. Maybe pick up a chunk play of 10, 15 yards, and then throw a Hail Mary into the end zone.
Yeah, this is what you've practiced all season long for. Time and time again, Fordyce has worked on this in practice, recovering the onside kick at the end of a game. And if they execute it like they practiced it all season long, they're going to be a state champ. If not, Desark, of course, they've been practicing this all year as well. Maybe they've got one more chance.
And keep an eye on Troy Merritt, number 22. He's lined up right there at the 50.
Yep, just above the numbers.
And they're going to go the other way, and they squib it right up the middle. And That was pretty easy.
Yeah, Weston Gamble right in the middle, and he recovers it. And then Fordyce is going to have to snap it one time. Well, we're about to have a back-to-back champion. This game has been really everything we expected it to be. A lot of people didn't give Desert much chance to win this contest, but they've been blow for blow with Fordyce. But in the end, it's the big plays. Just happened a little too often for the Red Bugs.
Oh, honestly, both teams scored 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Fordyce kicked 5 extra points. And Desart goes for 2, and they weren't able to, and if they get their 2-point conversions, they win this game.
That's right.
Think about it this way. It came down to 5 2-point conversions. There you go, the snap, and your Red Bugs do it. They're back-to-back state champions. Congratulations to them. They get it done on offense, scoring 35 points, and the defense does just enough to pull out the victory.
228 yards for Cross. Ties him for 10th all-time in a state championship game. So a historic type effort from the running back from Fordyce, who's going to play his college ball at Purdue. Pretty impressive day for the Fordyce offense.
Well, with 228 yards, he didn't just get 1,000 yards rushing for the season, Bobby. He got 1,100 exactly.
Yeah. Well,
he came in with 872 yards with 228 yards rushing. He finishes the season 1,100 yards, and now that young man is headed to Purdue. We'll take a break. We'll hear from the winning head coach, Coach Rogers, when we come back. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Arkansas PBS is proud to bring you Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry, an original documentary about remarkable Arkansas artisans who utilize the ancient craft of metalsmithing to create modern works of art. Experience their passion and pride of craftsmanship as they keep an ancient tradition alive, passing it down through generations with their skill and one-of-a-kind creativity. Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry.
Tomorrow evening at 5:30.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
John's Honda, your hometown dealer for sales and service of Honda motorcycles, ATVs, Honda generators, and Honda lawnmowers. Family owned and operated since 1967, John's Honda offers factory-certified technicians and experienced sales staff.
Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville share the mission of Arkansas PBS to enrich and empower all Arkansans. Community, dignity, respect. That's what Me Banking is all about. More at mebanking.com.
Fordyce did it in 2019. The Red Bugs do it again in 2020. They knock off Desart 35-32. The Red Bugs are going to be celebrating another state championship. I'm Wes Moore, and we got Troy Lynch down there waiting to get with the coach. But, Bobby, before we go down to Troy, that was an impressive night for Fordyce and for Desart, too. But I just thought Fordyce, that team speed was the difference in this game.
It really was. And the Desert option attack is tough to stop on so many different levels as Fordyce is about to get their championship trophy. Just the fundamentals. You got to stay at home, play your keys, play assignment football. And a lot of times 1 or 2 plays is going to be the difference. But they did a great job of really figuring it out what Desert was trying to do. Sure, they gave up 32 points. But at the end of the day, they made the big plays in the key moments. And that's why Fordyce is a state champion for a second straight year.
Looking at Fordyce's touchdowns, 41-yard touchdown, 20-yard touchdown, 43-yard touchdown, 30-yard touchdown, 55-yard touchdown. Big plays for Fordyce. difference in the ball game. Desart more of a ball control, grounded out. We talked about the time of possession all night long. Desart wins the time of possession, doubles up 32-15, but it's the score, like you said before, it can be misleading. In this game, they win the time of possession, but they don't win the scoreboard.
As Mr. Cross gets his MVP trophy, and of course, we'll hear from Coach Rogers in just a moment. But it's a big moment. You know, shout out to the crowd from Fordyce. They packed out War Memorial Stadium. Not as many fans are coming out to the state title game because of COVID this year. We understand that, but you know, both of these communities really showed out tonight for a 2A championship game. The smallest classification in the state. Really impressive atmosphere here at War Memorial.
Let's take a look at some of the stats while we wait on Coach Rogers. He's talking with some of the media right now. Impressive night on the ground for both teams. Desart ends up with 395 total yards. They have more total yards than the Red Bugs. And look at that, 102 yards passing. They didn't have any yards passing in the first half.
Yeah, if you would have said before the game that Desart had 100 yards passing, you think they win this one going away. Not the case tonight as the Red Bugs are celebrating. Let's send it down to the field. Troy has got the victorious head coach.
Red Bugs organization. What's it like to go back to back, and which one felt better?
This one was the toughest. I mean, last year was great, and it didn't take as much, but this year was really tough. All the things we had to do and all the things we had to go through, and then Desart being such a great team, it was a great ball game, and we had to fight all the way to the end there. And I was very proud for the kids, very proud for these two coaches with me here. We started this 4 years ago, and I'm glad we got to finish it up tonight.
Right after the game was over, I saw a lot of kids and even some coaches crying some happy tears. How much does this mean to the players and coaches of Fordyce?
Well, it means a lot because we started the year off expecting to be here and expecting to win a championship again with all the seniors that we had coming back. And we did a great job. I know Coach Musgrove here and Coach Sosa, they did a great job getting ready on offense and defense. And it was a tough year getting everything pushed and getting everything ready for the kids, but I thought we did a great job and we ended up finishing the game.
And Coach, I mean, what is it? How do you guys do it in the middle of a pandemic?
It's tough, and I just want to say hats off to Desart. They had a great game plan tonight. Kids fought to the last second, and I just can't say enough about them.
Well, coaches, congratulations. Thanks so much for being with me, and enjoy the victory again on going back to back.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thanks a lot, Troy. You take a look at it. Fordyce wins a 3-point game in the state championship game. It was a 3-point game last week against Girton. Those coaches talking about how difficult it was to win this and how there was no quit in Desart. Fordyce battled to win that back-to-back title.
They did, and they've had to battle all season. Every team that lined up to play football this year had to battle through adversity, and that's the coach's favorite word across the country is adversity. And most of the time, it's on the field. Sometimes it's about going to class, but this year it was about battling a pandemic, as you see Coach Rogers and Morton, the quarterback from Desart, sharing a few words after the game. And that's what it's about, because it was so difficult to get this football season in, and now we're 4-for-4, Wes. Undefeated teams. Didn't think we'd have a season. Now we've got 4 perfect seasons in the record book. And I'm not, as I'm talking to a couple of the history buffs in Arkansas football history, not sure if they've ever gone 6 for 6 as far as undefeated teams. We've got a chance to accomplish that next weekend.
That gave me chills. Coach Rogers chased down Luke Morton. He was standing with Troy at about the 35-yard line. He went down to the other 30 to get Luke Morton to tell him whatever he told him, but I'm guessing is how much he admires what he did. I saw him motioning, talking about the coach was talking about his elbow, his left elbow, what Luke Morton did in the semifinal game in the championship game with the dislocated elbow, playing with the big brace. How can you not admire that young man?
Yeah, the way he gutted it out was just really, really impressive. And hats off to both these guys. But that's what we miss with the COVID. You can't shake hands. Is the moments like that. Hats off to Coach Rogers showing a great sportsmanship moment there.
Hats off to the Eagles. Hats off to the Red Bugs. What a fantastic game. We'll take a break. We'll wrap it up when we come back. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championship. Oh, we're wrapping it up now?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done?
We're
no,
done.
I wanted to stick around for a little bit longer.
Until
Let's
next
play another
weekend.
one tonight. Get 2 more teams out here. Well, we'll be back here next weekend. 2 more games. 4A championship, 3A championship. I'll be back. Bobby, you going to be back?
I'll be here.
Crew will be back. We'll see you back here next week It's the state football championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports.